you bring up a very interesting concern. Maybe not a concern, but an interesting thing. Whatever the word is. I'm really curious what Valve is going to do for the summer update this year. What are they going to do? Are we going to get a carbon copy of what they did last year, where they dumped a shitload of content into the game? Just like, what was it, 14 maps? God, I really hope not. I mean, Valve really needs to dial it back with the maps. It's simply too many. It's too many. It's not good that we have this many maps in the game, and I really hope they don't keep treating... Like, we almost got the same number of hats as cosmetics in the summertime, which is fucking wild to me. 14 maps and like 20-something cosmetics? That's nuts. I hope they don't do that again. I hope they dial it back, because putting too many maps in the game just bloats the map pool, spreads players thin. You get more half-empty servers that get filled up by bots, and it's just not fun. And if you're not doing quality control on those maps, we end up getting a bunch that are fucking dog shit. So that doesn't help either. Ideally, we should be getting maybe 1 or 2 really solid maps per update, quote-unquote. Otherwise, it's not good. Not good. Like, people, like, see the number 14 and go, whoa, that's a lot, but more isn't always better. That's, like, you know, a very, very acceptable thing to say. At least I think it is. 189 ride taunts and unusual effects. Yeah, God, the unusual effect pool is gonna keep going up. I only remember two effects that we got this year. It was Fireflies, which is the one I really enjoyed from last year. And then, like, Radiant Rivalry and Radiant Legacy, which is just like the Manco and TF2 logos. I like those. Also, yeah, Mountain Halo. But beyond that, I didn't retain a single unusual effect to memory because, Jesus, there's, I think, 500 unusual... I think there's more than 500 unusual effects now. No, that's also including taunt effects, but there's more than 500. That's nuts. And I think now, after 2023, something like 65% of all unusual effects in TF2 have been added within the past 3 or 4 years. Which is fucking wild. That's an insanely high rate of adding unusual effects, which is fucking nuts, if you ask me. Too much. It's too much. I should probably, like, turn my webcam on. I didn't even adjust my camera to see if I look like shit or not. We're gonna find out. There we go. That's not too bad. It's a respectable angle. I think that's okay. It's a respectable angle. TF2ers can have 500 unusual effects as a treat. Is it a treat? I don't know if it's like, let's just pull it up. TF2 unusual effects. Just pull it up. Let's pull up the list, shall we? Oh my god. Alright, so... Let me zoom in a bit. There's 603 cosmetics that can have one of 277 total effects, 95,000 with 125. This is a low number. I don't think that's accurate. I think it's more. I have to count by hand, but I guarantee you it's around 500. I have to do it by hand though. There's no way that it's only there's no way that it's under 400, which is what, you know, 277, so 377, 97, 402. That sounds maybe not. 402 and then, you know, 5, so 407 effects in total, including the weapon effects. Seems low. So if someone is, like, really wanting to do the math, then go for it. Like, count it up for me. Count it up for me. Hello? Steam? What is happening? Alright, cool. Steam is back. Alright. I should eventually do an unusual effects tier list, like proper. Like a proper tier list. But I can't do all of them. It's just too many. Like, I could do, like, generations 1 through 3 in one sitting, and then I probably wouldn't, and then, like, maybe, or do all the Halloween ones in one sitting. I don't know. There's just too many of them. God. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, so I guess we'll get started. Are we set? Are we ready? I hope so. Anyways, so the way this works is if you want me to look at something on the workshop, what you need to do is join the Discord that is in the link in the description below. Join that Discord, and there's a channel in there called Workshop Links. And when I open it in just a moment, please paste one link, and one link only. If you paste more than one link, I'm going to ignore your message, and I'm going to move on to the next one. Only one link. Send me whatever hat, map, no, sorry, hat, taunt, unusual effect, or skin. No maps, can't do maps, because I can't review a map on stream. And then we'll just go from there. And I'll give everyone a couple of seconds, or a minute or two to, like, get their links ready, and then I'll give you a little countdown so people can start sending the links, because I want to give everyone a fair shot of getting it in there as quickly as they can. Otherwise, I'm probably going to miss it, because it ends up being too many. Alright? So I'll give you all just a moment or two before we fire it up. And then if I have time at the end, I'll go through the Warpaint Discord and look at the ones that are works in progress in there. Edging to link pasting. Horrible. Alright, I'm going to assume everyone's ready. I'm assuming everyone's set to go. Why is it that everyone feels compelled to message me right when I start streaming? Every time. It's like, now is the time to message him. Now is the time to send Zesty messages, right when he goes live. He'll notice it immediately, and that's just like the number one reason for me to ignore your message. Alright, so, on the count of 3, you can send messages. Alright, are we ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, fuck. Oh, Jesus. Well, here they come. Alright, lay them on me, and we'll get going. We'll start firing them up here. Just give me a bunch. We'll see if my RAM can handle the volume of Chrome tabs I have open. Firing it up here. Holy mother of God. Alright. Alright, that's a good place to stop. We'll end on this gentleman here. Bring this here. Bring you here. And we can get going. Where's my... There, you just... That was a shitload. That was a shitload really fast. Alright, first up, we got Road King. I've seen this war paint before. It looks really fucking good. It's themed after, you know, I guess like a Roadhog, like a motorcycle gang. This is really fucking sleek. Like, the colors are great. Texture work is fucking phenomenal. It's really, really good. My only gripe, I have only one very small gripe with this skin. It's that it almost has too much going on. Like, there's almost too much detail being thrown onto this one skin, where you have, like, the stitching, and then you have, like, a really higher... Like, normally when you look at, like, the painterly textures in TF2, like, the contrast between all of the paint swatches isn't that sharp. Like, this is more what you would expect, but these are, like, really sharp, so it adds, like, a little bit more noise, including here as well. So something this war paint might benefit from is smoothing that out a little bit, but that's, like, a really minor thing. Or, actually, you could honestly benefit from just getting rid of the stitching. I don't think the stitching on the leather is necessary. That, like, all the other textures have enough detail where it's already fucking immaculate without it, but... This is a really, really solid war paint. I would love to see this in game. It's fucking phenomenal. I think it's awesome. I think it's great. I do not like this one. Well, it's a shame. I like it. War paints if they're fuckable. Yeah, I'd like it too if it was a little more subdued. Like, I think, like, the logo is fucking sick. I think that, like, the sticker is great. Like, normally when I see a lot of stickers, they oftentimes have way too much detail or the text is too small. Naturally, you can't make a sticker look good on every weapon model. For example, like, you have, like, the Bizarre Bargain where it's, like, squished down really small. I'm assuming this one is using some kind of custom coding. I suspect it is. Yeah, it uses custom code, so we'll never see it in game, unfortunately, which is a huge bummer. But it's really good. I'll also favorite this one because it's just that good. I've seen this one countless times. It's just, this one's okay. I mean, like, if it's, we have a lot of Stripes war paints already, you know? But this one's definitely one of the better ones. The only thing I don't like about it is this, you have like the 3D embossing on the sticker, which really doesn't look good inside of TF2. And TF2 doesn't really have that type of detailing. Everything is like flatter in terms of like everything looks painted. This looks like it was something that was rendered in a 3D program, which doesn't really fit with the rest of TF2 stylization. So I would redo that sticker and make it look like it's painted rather than like molded. But the colors are fine. Let me see. I hate how Steam updated the pictures where, like, when you click it, it gets cropped. It's fucking stupid. I don't know if I like the gold wear. I feel like the gold wear makes it kind of crummy. I feel like if the wear was black, then it would help balance out the slightly too saturated colors, but it's not terrible. Like, we definitely have seen far worse war paints in TF2. It's just okay. Really just don't like the sticker. So, I don't know. Do I say yes? Do I say no? Probably, I'll say yeah. I'm not offended by it. Oh. This is, wow. I've seen so many war paints like this. So, here we have yet another racing-themed one. I don't know, man. It's like, every time I see someone try to do a black and white checkered pattern, is this orientation locked? It doesn't seem like it is, given that this has tilt, but correct me if I'm wrong. Textures were made from the ground up. Custom wear stickers. I don't know if this is orientation locked. It would greatly benefit from what it was. I remember seeing an older version of this one before. The colors are great. Colors are fine. Like, those are exactly where they need to be. Metal texture looks fine, but there's just something about a checkered flag texture that's really, really hard to get right. This is definitely one of the best attempts I've seen on it, where the white is not too bright, the black is not too saturated, but I don't know, it's like something with this, there's also the scaling thing where it makes the rivets look really fuzzy depending on the weapon model. Also, it could just be this guy's game settings, which is not helping it. Like, pro tip, I don't know if this guy has like max texture settings on, but if you're gonna do a war paint showcase, really ramp up the texture quality for your screenshots. Otherwise, it's gonna look really bad. Like, I highly doubt the sticker on this is that pixelated. If it is, make sure it doesn't look like that. But I don't know. This one's okay. I'm a fair fan of it now. The custom wear doesn't look too bad either, and I like the oil splatters. I don't know. Yeah, it's okay. The albedo tint takes away from it. I disagree. I think the albedo adds a lot for this one. In fact, I think this one kind of needs it. Because you kind of expect like a shiny, sleek race car kind of look. Like, here, I'll start my game and I can show you something. Like, I'll show you something like the Killer Bee, for example. The Killer Bee scattergun, I think, is a really good example of what albedo can do to bring a skin up to the next level. Ignore the Miracle Booty. I mean, it's just my game. You're gonna have to deal with it. Yeah, Starry Crow, you're exactly right. Like, wear helps a lot of skins look really good. Wear helps skins look really good. I completely agree. All right, let me do this. Let me go to backpack, war paints, go to the Killer Bee. Killer Bee. See, for example, this is one of the war paints that really benefits from having an albedo shine on it, and it's also one that looks really good with higher wear. This war paint that we're looking at right now is another example of that, where it really needs something to kind of break up the textures and give it some kind of, dust, dirt, and grime. Is it actually, do the stickers actually mirror themselves this way? Is there a way, I don't know, is there a way to circumvent that? If there's a way to circumvent having your sticker mirrored like that, that would be a good thing to do. Because if not, that's not good. It looks funky having the numbers backwards. Hopefully you can fix that. I'm assuming you can, but I could be wrong. Yeah, here we go. This is the old version. And now I remember, yeah. Yeah, this one had like the racing stripes on them that added a lot of noise, but then he really brought it to the next level by getting rid of that and simplifying it. It looks a lot better. Yeah, this is not orientation locked, which is a fucking shame. Hopefully you can tell Valve, hey, orientation lock this texture, but they don't really do that anymore. But it's in a much better state than it was before, and I like it. Alpine Hunter. Did I see this one before? It's been so long since I've done a workshop stream that I don't remember what I've looked at. Anyways, we'll just keep going. It's all right. I like the sticker. I like the color work. The camo texture really leaves something to be desired. I would have really liked to have seen this showcased on more weapons in-game than just the scattergun. Yeah, I think, I feel like you could probably ramp up the camo texture a little bit and make it a little bit busier. Like, you can scale down your texture a bit to kind of break it up, because when you have big, solid areas like this that are broken up by harsh lines, that looks kind of ugly, especially if it's juxtaposed against other solid textures, so I would really scale that down quite a bit. I would also desaturate the wood just a tiny bit, not too much, just a little bit, because the brown against the light gray, it looked like the dark on dark here with the black looks good, but against the light gray, it's kind of, The brown is very harsh with all the other textures and kind of stands out. Here we go. Yeah, the brown sticks out in kind of not such a good way with the rest of the palette, so I would definitely tone this down, desaturate it a little bit. You don't want to make it like gray, but you want to get it to where it's getting a little bit more gray in there, and then I think that would really help it a lot. But beyond that, I think this is pretty good so far. Is this team colored? I hope it is. I hope it's team colored. If not, make it team colored, because a blue version of this would be fucking sick. I'm not sure what base this uses either, but if a team color is possible, that'd be great. Alternatively, instead of wood, maybe you could do something like a canvas wrap, like canvas has been wrapped around the gun so you can grip it better. Maybe that would look better, and then make that kind of, and then you could also make that team color, like a slight reddish tinge to it and a slight bluish tinge to it, instead of using wood, because the wood really sticks out, and I don't think it meshes with the rest of the color palette, so I think maybe you should try doing a different texture. Just an idea. But if you want to keep the wood desaturated a little bit, then pretty solid. 50, what is CZK? I don't know the currency, but thank you for it. Hey man, recently I saw a video from Lonk Kudor about TF2. What do you think of his video? If you talked about it, no need. I have not seen the video, so, or maybe I have. Do I look it up? Do I interrupt the stream and talk about it? I mean, he gave me money, so I kind of have to. How do I spell that? I'm assuming I did. Here we go. No, I did not see this video, so I cannot comment on it. Sorry. I'm not gonna watch it during the stream either, so can't do it. That one used Park Pigmented as a base, so you can't do team color. Ah, it's a shame. Well, the team colored aspects on that previous war paint are at least small, so it can get away with it if you don't have team color, but oh well. Zen Plated, another war paint. Good. Actually, really fucking clean. This is really nice. We have another play on like a Damascus steel, except it looks like it's brass or copper, and then silver, bluish silver for blue team. This is really nice. This is really clean, really sleek. I also like I like the leather texture here. I like how you handled that and also made that team color. Didn't just go for a straight brown. It looks genuinely really nice. Really good work. It's nice. I'd like to see this one in game. I would also use it. It's very clean. What about the wear? Yeah, probably a safe bet going with just normal default wear on this. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Yeah, I think it's fine. I had the thought for a moment that maybe it could benefit from a different war paint base that brings in another texture, because something about these two colors, it feels like they're at a similar level of saturation, so nothing really pops. So maybe you could use a different base that brings in a third, just a solid color, like a third solid color, and maybe have that be black, like a really, not like a hyper saturated black, but like a darker black or a gray. That gives just, you know, and have that be a tertiary, not like a primary, but a tertiary, to give like little splashes of darker saturation in there to kind of break up the whole, you know, break up everything. That might help it a little bit. I don't know if that's the right thing to do. It merits experimentation. But even without that, it's really good. I'd like to see it in game. So good shit. Nice work. Team Assault. orange. He even looks good on the brass beast. Ah, yeah, I see someone has been paying attention to my videos. I like the sticker. Not enough people utilize the TF logo as a sticker. Y'all need to do that. Like, I'm surprised more people don't incorporate the TF logo into items in general. It's the game. Put it on there. Come on. This one feels like it's suffering from a similar problem as the previous, like, winter camo one. I feel like you can ramp up the amount of detail in this texture. And I would also make the darker elements darker to give it a little more contrast between the two, because without that, like, you can, like, here, like, this is the camo texture here. It's so, like, all the different pieces are so similarly saturated that you can barely tell that's camo here. It just looks like it's flat gray. So you definitely need to darken the darker areas a little bit more. That'll help it a lot. And then that will also help, yeah, make the darks here similar to the darks on this texture, so they don't clash as harshly. That might help a little bit. Because, like, on the sniper rifle, it doesn't look too bad because it's like a smaller surface area, and then, like, that, this doesn't look terrible, but here, oh, it's the airstrike, so maybe it's not the best example. Yeah, so I think you should darken the darks on here a little bit. The sticker is totally fine, I believe. Maybe I don't like the brown. I don't know if I like the brown. You say too shrimple, but sometimes simple is good, and I think this is an example of that. Simple can work just fine. But I feel like this brown, I'm assuming it's a leather texture, is not the best choice? I mean, why don't you lean into orange a little bit? You could lean into orange and maybe try a different base? You know, you could bump the amount of orange in the TF logo. You can make this orange, like a darker orange. I mean, well, brown is dark orange, but make this more orange-ish. Maybe play with that a little bit, because there's something off of, like the texture work itself is fine, but the color is off. I don't like the way the brown is contrasting with the silvers and the grays. Or maybe you could just darken it. Maybe you could darken it. Maybe the wood is too light. If you bring that down to like a darker, richer wood, like a walnut, you know? Like for example, look at the gentleman's wood. Where's the right program? So, for example, you could go with this level of darkness. Patterns. Ooh, wrong one. Was it wood? I don't remember the name. Walnut. Yeah, if you bring it down to be a bit darker, like, where's a good part of this texture that's darker? Like, around here? Because right now, you're kind of around here. If it's darker, I think that would look a lot better. Actually, maybe even darker than that would be the best way to go. Yeah, I would play with your colors a little bit and see what you can do. Yeah, that's my point. Like, the two grays are washed out, so if he bumps the contrast up a little bit with the darker grays in the camo, it would look a lot better. 2 Fort Memento. See, here we go. Here's a nice example of simple is totally fine. I mean, it's nothing amazing to write home about, but it's like a nice, simple skin, simple texture work, decent color palette that fits into the game. It's a nice, simple, sleek thing, and if the summer update was of any indication, due to the immense success of Secretly Serviced and Team Serviced, people desire war paints like this. It's really decent. It's not like this amazing hyper-detailed thing, and we have a nice TF logo sticker once again. Looks really good. I mean, it's another, like, you know, a good mercenary grade war paint that I think would be really popular. It looks nice. It reminds me of really old community maps. You know? It reminds me of old, like, I'm getting visions of Toy Fort looking at this skin. I like it a lot. I'd say, oh yeah. Wait, does it have albedo on it? If this has albedo too, this is where it's like a metal. Ooh. Ooh. I like this. I'm a fan. I dig it. I say nice work on this one. All the colors work really nicely together. It's solid. The blue looks really sleek too. Yeah. I say good shit. Nicely done. Ugh. Just purple is fucking awful in TF2. It sticks out like a sore thumb. You can desaturate the hell out of it, but there is just no purple in TF2. So no matter what you do, it's gonna flashbang you every time. And it's so hard to get purple to look right in TF2. And it's just this primary texture is too much. Like the washed out one is fine. The wood is very noisy. It looks like it has noise filters on it. But I don't know what feedback to give to make purple look better. You know? Like Haunted Metal, for example, like we've seen Haunted Metal war paints, but they tread further into, you know, this territory where it's a lot lighter and not as dark and saturated. This is the area that's causing problems. It looks fine around here. And Haunted Metal in tandem with like a metal texture, you know, with the painterly style on it and an albedo tint, and it's a solid color, looks really good. But you have like the cardinal sin of the wood is too dark, the purple is too saturated. And then, because these things are so dark and saturated, they're contrasting way, way too harshly with the pastel purple. I don't know what to do. What do I say aside from it looks bad? I don't know what to say to make, like, how do you make purple look better? You just can't. It sticks out horribly in TF2. Like, I think the ones that do it the best are like Macabre Web. Where are you? These work well. I need to pull this up next to him on my other screen so I can, like, compare the two. So I can, like, see what to say. It's just not as dark, because even like this purple here is still right like in the middle of the lighter purples, and it gets away with it. And that makes it look a lot better. And this darker wood isn't as dark as your dark wood. Like, this is about as dark as you want to get for a TF2 texture on anything before it starts looking really bad. So I would perhaps retry getting your wood into this territory. And then instead of your pastel pink, incorporate another dark texture in there, because the contrast between the two is way, way too harsh. Like, these contrast way too sharply. I don't know. And honestly, man, sometimes ideas are just a dud. Sometimes things just don't work, and you have to leave it at that. This is when the workshop first opened. It's like just a burnt chicken. Great. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, it's from a very different era. Foundation. I want this to be orientation locked. I know it's not. Yeah. Yeah, so he wants orientation lock on the textures, which is a very necessary request for this war paint. Because if this wasn't orientation locked, it would look fucking terrible. The colors are really solid. The texture work is really solid. I like it. You got white and black to work really nicely with each other because you didn't take them into insanely saturated territory. This is a sticker, or is it part of the texture? I think these are parts of the texture. They're not stickers. Which is, I suppose, fine. Because I think a sticker is not the right way to go about this one. I don't know, I like it. I think it's pretty good. It meshes more into like the heavier industrial type of maps in TF2, kind of like process or what have you. It fits decently well. Like, if TF2 were to get its own type of like Asimov skins like CSGO has, this is about as close as you can get to it before it starts looking really out of place with TF2. Spy tech? Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Is this a sticker? It is a sticker. It is a sticker. It's rolled. Okay. It is a sticker. Yeah, I think it's all right. I don't. It might be getting a. Yeah, you're right. It might be getting a little into the busy territory because you have two types of stripes. You know, you have the copper stripes and you have the thinner black stripes, and that does make for a lot of visual noise. Ideally, that's actually, no, now that I think about it, that was the problem with the first Warpaint, is that you have multiple stripe elements that are different thicknesses, and when you juxtapose those things and they're overlapping each other, it ends up being really busy. So go for one or the other. So perhaps something you could do is like you have the tertiary here, right? Like you have like the tertiary copper, right? That fills in this area. So perhaps what you could do is experiment with a different base where you can still get more of like that's like you get it here and you get it here, right? So, but then if you remove it from the copper from the primary texture, it would lose a lot of what makes it look nice. Just for it's like a 6 or 7 out of 10 right now, but perhaps what's worth experimenting with is remove the copper from the primary texture and then play around with different bases to see if you can get more of that tertiary onto the gun to supplement what's been removed from the primary. Maybe try that, but if this is added in game right now, I wouldn't be offended. Less metal plating lines? No, it's a kind of... Yeah, maybe the plating isn't even needed on the front. Like, the thinner black plating isn't even needed. Maybe remove that, too, and see how that looks. Nah, the thing is, you don't have anything breaking it up to kind of help it mesh with the black texture. No, you need these lines. You need these lines. I don't know. Yeah, maybe try what I said. Oh my god. We have a classic classic here. He bought? I tried both suggestions and that was the best you could do. Well, I mean, I still think it's okay. He bought? Dump it? Yes? He popped? Good shit. Ah, yes, Man of Steel. Here we have a Metal Gear reference. If they add this, it would very, very much need to be Halloween restricted. I mean, I'm glad they tinted the metal where you can at least vaguely tell what team he's on. Initially, they didn't do that, but this could very easily be blended with other cosmetics that, at a glance, could hurt team recognition, because it removes a lot of Heavy's primary team color and replaces it with a very washed-out color, which is not a good idea to do. Ideally, you want to maintain the same amount, if not incorporate more of the primary color onto a character model, otherwise it could hurt readability in the game. But for both, I think they're fine if it's Halloween restricted, but they should absolutely not be added into the game as items that are available year-round. Plain and simple. Main reason being, it adds a lot to Heavy's player model that is just should not be in the game all the time. It looks cool. It's you know, a somewhat tastefully incorporated reference that at least kind of like, okay, yeah, it could be Heavy dressing up as a robot for Halloween, but it's also a reference to Metal Gear, so that's okay. It's not like a ham-fisted reference or a shoehorn reference, so it gets away with it. But again, it very much needs to be Halloween restricted, but not in the game year-round. So that's all I got to say on that. Jogger's jersey. I've seen this cosmetic many times. It's a baseball jersey for Scout. Why don't we have a baseball jersey for Scout in the game yet? It just makes sense. Can we have this, please? That would be fantastic. Doesn't even seem like it has paint regions, which is even better. It's just a simple baseball jersey for Scout. Put it in. The dude's character's centered on baseball as well. Get it in there, please. Good shit. Like, it just makes sense. Can we have this? Oh, that looks weird. Oh, it looks so weird. Oh, I know why. Okay. Yeah, so... the reason why Heavy has his darker gloves, right, is because his arms are so long. And the flesh color is really bright. And your eyes gravitate towards the brightest thing on your screen first. That's just normal human reaction. Heavy's gloves are there because a very important part of TF2's color work is that character models have colors placed on the models in such a way that it guides the eyes towards the primary team colored areas. So when you have these huge, bright, flesh-colored areas sticking out on Heavy, like from here and here, right? The first thing you're looking at is, oh, fuck, that's a lot of pinkish flesh tone in my face, right? What the gloves do is they break it up, and they also bring his hands, which are, you know, usually closer to the lower part of his player model, right? You look at the Heavy here, right? We just go to, like, just a vanilla Heavy, right? See, right, when you break it up here, it blends more into his torso and into his pants, where it breaks it up enough where your eyes are just being trained to go look to these areas here. But if you remove these gloves, it just ends up being way too bright. So, I don't think it's a good idea to remove Heavy's gloves. It just looks very strange. I don't think it's a good idea. It looks bad. I don't think this cosmetic is appropriate. Physician's Shawl. Is it not paintable? I mean, it doesn't look bad. This is actually quite nice. You know? Decent hat, decent mustache, and little goatee. I dig it. It's nice. Nice scarf, hat, and mustache combo for Megas. This is pretty decent. I dig it. Yeah, this is really good. It's a bit too much? No, I don't think so. I think it's fine. I mean, like, back in the day, right? Back in the day, 2010, 2011, this would have been split into 3 different cosmetics. It would have been the hat, it would have been the mustache, and it would have been the scarf. But now, because we can get away with throwing 3 old school cosmetics into one, then... yeah. I don't know. It's okay. I think this is fine. Too many facial hair cosmetics? I disagree. I think I don't think there are enough good facial hair cosmetics in the game. We have a very small pool of them, and most of them don't look, and a good handful of them don't look very good. Like, we need more decent facial hair cosmetics. Marquis de Stab. This is doing too much. So, you think that was too much? This is doing too much. Where you're replacing, or you're adding a lot of stuff onto Spy. It's too much. I don't think this is a good idea. Like, you've completely redesigned what the character is supposed to look like. I don't like it. I do not like this at all. It maybe if it was just the hat, or if it was like the mustache is great. This looks fine. Sure. Mustache and beard, totally okay. The hat on its own, sure, that's also fine. But this, like, the suit does way too much. Adds too much stuff on and does not make the Spy look like the Spy anymore. Like, oh, it's still obviously the Spy because of his silhouette. Yeah, the silhouette is preserved, but it takes the character away from what he is. I don't like it. Halloween costume material should not be in the game year-round. It's just a ball cap. It's a very poorly modeled and poorly textured modern-style ball cap for the Scout. I'm gonna have to say no. It's a good first shot at making... Has this guy made stuff before? He's made some stuff before, but yeah, I would... It's like his first cosmetic. Yeah, he seems like he's improved a little bit, but the modeling work is very amateur. Texture work is terrible. It brings in a modern style piece of clothing and puts it into a very narrow swath of time that is TF2. Does not look very good, so I'm gonna say no. Alliance Anodized. Very reminiscent of Blasted Bombardier. Very reminiscent of this skin. So it basically took what's going on here and made a war paint out of it, which I do appreciate. and it made the blue markedly better. Silver looks good. Like the leather, like the brown oddly works for this. It oddly works for this. I kind of like it. I think this is good. I feel like the red might tread a little too close into orange territory. You might want to bring that back a little bit. Bring that back more into reddish territory. I don't know. I think it's decent. I like it. I think it's good. I say yes. Monsoon Made, this one again, that I looked at. Didn't I see this one before? I don't remember. I know I looked at this one before. I know for a fact I've looked at this one before. Okay, so really, really... Not a critique on the war paint, but when you're uploading showcases to the workshop, please don't upload them all as really grainy GIFs. Please give us in-game screenshots. Please give us full showcases so we can see what they look like in-game, and not something that's like on a you know, a class like a what is it, CRTV? Don't do that. Yeah, I like how I do appreciate how you incorporated the lightning into the what's that called? There's a term for how it there's a thing that the word for how it interacts with lighting. I like the lightning on it, but like the primary texture is fine. What's going on here? These like hands? These like bony hands? I would get rid of those. Those are not a necessary detail at all. I think this guy's done a different version since then. No, he hasn't. Oh God. Oh Jesus. What have I stumbled across? Oh fuck me. Yeah, I would study the game you're making items for a little bit more. Hey, briefcase themed war paint. I can appreciate that. Whoa, the black is a little too harsh. I wouldn't even use black on this. Like, here's the difference. This is gray, this is black. Make these two the same color. Match that to be that gray. That is the only thing you need to do to this war paint, and then it's totally fine. Yeah, match that to that, and then you're good. That's it. Only change that's needed. Beyond that, fantastic. Going through it. I don't know, seems like a simple hat. I don't know, I see nothing wrong with it. Some saturated colors are okay, not really in TF2. TF2 really highly saturated colors stick out like a sore thumb and end up being very, very ugly against the backdrop of the rest of the game. You really want to avoid overly saturated colors in general when you're making items for TF2. It will be ugly and it will stick out and be hideous. For example, like this looks really decent, and then you can go to something like, what is like the most ugly saturated? What is the most saturated war paint that I can think of? Probably, I mean, the first one fucking comes to mind is Potent Poison, because like, we were talking about this a moment ago. Whee! Yeah, this is a really nasty eyesore compared to how the rest of the game looks. It just does not. Oh yeah, oh, how could I forget? Health and Hell Green. How could I forget Health and Hell fucking Green? My God, yeah, saturated color is, you don't want to do this for TF2, man. It's just not appropriate for the game. Looks horrible. Don't work with these colors. You really want to use that pastel-y color palette that TF2 is known for. There's a little wiggle room. You can get away with a little bit of nonsense, but you can't, like, scorch people's corneas out with that much saturation. This hat, I don't know, it's fine. Seems like a mediocre mercenary grade you can get away with, but it's just Man, it's like, some of y'all are funny. It's like, y'all gotta, like, some of y'all went back to the y'all just went to the first 3 pages on the workshop and just started pulling random shit. I mean, just no. It's funny, but no. Custom tailored. Hey, war paint themed after the spy's coat. Didn't I look at this one before? Maybe I didn't. Maybe I did. I don't remember. Really nice. Genuinely, this looks really good. I am a fan. Something about the leather, though. I mean, the albedo makes it look really good. Is that a custom wear? What is that? What is this? Is that custom wear? I kind of like that. I kind of like that. What's that? What's that meant to be? Is that meant to be like embers or something? Whatever that's meant to be, it looks really cool. You got like little splashes of, is that metal? Is it like burnt embers? What is that? Or like gold flakes or something? That looks really nice. Spy's flesh? Is it spy's flesh? I hope not. I don't know. That looks really good. Like, I think that's like one of the, like a tiny bit of something goes a long way like that. That looks nice. That's, again, I'm not sure what it is, but man. Roasted spy flakes. Oh, that's not nice to think about. Like, look at that. It adds like just a little, it adds a little extra something on there when you get higher wares. Yeah, I like this. This is really nice. You threw in a little something that we used to see in the gentleman. Yeah, it's like gold. It's got shine on it. Copper or gold. Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna favorite that one too. That's good shit. I mean, does it need explanation? Like, we don't need a fucking Zoidberg cosmetic in TF2. My fucking god. Like, this is like another example of like the Fortnite-ification of TF2, right? When they add shitty cosmetics like this, or if they were fucking awful. Don't put this kind of crap in the game. It's terrible. Simple as that. Pencil gun, just why? I've reviewed this one before, and I gave a fairly, what I think to be a fairly normal criticism on this, where they chose very, very generous screenshots that don't have engineer's weapon in front of him, right? So when you look at the default engineer, the placement of his team color is primarily on his sleeves and his shirt, and this cosmetic removes a good chunk of that. Not a good idea. People are going to be looking for primary team colors in the same spots because most of the time you see primary team colors in the same locations all the time. The cosmetic itself looks really good, but removing primary team color where players expect it to be is not a good idea. So ideally, you want to incorporate some of that back on there, maybe with an armband, maybe with a team logo, something that gets more of that red on there to give what people are looking for in terms of readability. You need to put that back on, in my opinion. That's very, very important. Also, yeah, it's probably solid brown from the back, no less. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, from the back, you're gonna have no idea what team this guy's fucking on, because it's gonna be solid brown from behind. You don't even get, yeah, look at that, it's fucking solid brown. Whoa! Not a good idea. Not a good idea. Yeah, that's just solid brown. Yeah, you need something on the backside, because that's not enough. Not enough, man. Gotta fix that. It's an old cosmetic. We won't see it in game. Shitty Deltarune reference. We don't need this in TF2 either. Okay. Where was I? More links. Getting more. Getting as many as I can. I'm gonna open a shitload more this time because I didn't have my usual high volume of stuff. That's a Wikipedia page. I should make a new rule. If you post anything other than a Steam Workshop link, I'll just ban you immediately. Because when you do that, it takes up someone else's slot, and it makes them, it makes them get, they get to miss out. So don't do that. That's a GIF apparently. Okay. So garbage. Dog of War. This was uploaded in November. Yeah, see, this is like, it looks really good, but this is like another one of those examples where it's adding almost, like, yeah, it's too much. You're adding too much clutter onto the player model. Something that's very important to maintain for TF2 is that overall, the level of detail on TF2's player models is relatively low. So when you add a bunch of like other extra shapes and colors and stuff, it just makes it really visually noisy. I don't think that's a good idea. Like, you could have done without the straps and then kept the solid white waistcoat, or the solid white lab coat, would have been fine. Like, yeah, like, these straps aren't necessary, just give us the white lab coat. Looks like an Apex Legends character. I mean, you're not wrong. Yeah, you didn't... the armband, I suppose, is fine, but I would definitely get rid of these straps here. Get rid of the straps, you can keep the vest and the tie and the shirt underneath, that looks fine. But you put a little too much detail on this. The paint region is just the tie, thank God. But yeah, it's too much. The hat is fine, or that, like, the glasses are nice. Very German. Very, very German. I like the glasses and the hair. That looks decent. But the mustache, also fairly decent. I'm assuming it's just 3 different styles. But no, I don't like this. I think that's fine. I think this is fine. I think this is fine. But no, we don't need that highly level of detail on this. What is this? This is very clearly referencing something, but I don't know what this is. Someone fill me in. It's not really well made. It's actually, the modeling and the texture work really leaves something to be desired, so on that premise alone, pretty bad. But what is this referencing? It's a Gundam reference? It's not very good. We'll move on. Gunman's Delight. I need a little more from your showcases, man. You gotta get more in there. You got a few weapons here. Silver looks good. The gold doesn't. The wood also, I don't know, man. It's a little flat. Everything's a little flat. You need a little something in here. A little something to get something to pop. Like, a sleek metal texture is good, but I think wood is a wrong choice here. Wood is the wrong choice. Maybe you could go with... Silver's hard to work with. Silver's tricky. Like, when you get silver light gray elements, putting wood against that is hard to do. It looks pretty poor. Then if you go to something like this, right? Like, if you look at the wood, it's very grayish brown, or you have like elements of gray mixed into this, right? Where it blends nicely with the grays and the silvers on like the default weapon models. You don't really have any of that here. And this goes back to the other, like, you know, wood textures and other war paints I was talking about earlier. Getting it to where you can have some kind of element that ties it to the other textures helps it a lot. The overall palette is fine, but they're all contrasting with each other way too sharply. You need something that ties everything together. Yeah, make this less bright, maybe tone down the gold a little bit, or maybe no, maybe just keep the gold, but maybe it's the wood. The wood is the problem here. You need something to tie it with the silver. I think. Bump mapping helps you make the texture pop out and makes the metal wood appear rougher. You could also do that. Brass would be better. This is already kind of in brass territory. Not gold, brass. Yeah, maybe like, you know, more washed out. Yellow would look good. For example, why'd I close this? I do that every time. I don't know why I do that. I just need to leave this fucking window open. Patterns. There's a brass in here. Yeah, something similar to this, you know, where it's like a tannish color, where it's, you know, pitted and scratched. That would probably look a lot better than a very saturated gold. So maybe try that. Jesus, I just don't know. I don't know why anyone would think this is a good idea. It looks horrible. My God. It's like a default gradient in Photoshop with TF2 assets slapped all over it. Terrible. Fucking hideous. No. Is this bait? Is this guy's only submission? He also did like a water stock PNG or like a water or some kind of filter in Photoshop. Looks equally as worse than that, more so in terms of the saturation. Fucking hideous. Study your game a little bit, man. Just gotta say. Valiant Warrior. Updated. I like it. I like it. I fear... maybe not. Whoa, what's happening with this wood texture? Jesus, okay. Ooh. You know what? You are allowed to use existing textures inside of TF2's files, so perhaps use an existing wood texture and go for that instead. Yeah, it does look a little lava-ish, doesn't it? I'm not offended by it. I just realized it looks like a fucking cock, but yeah, you can incorporate existing Valve textures into into your work. I think that would look better for the wood here. Like the blue variant looks very good. What could they do different here? I feel like they need to do something different with this primary texture. It's too clay-y, too earthy overall, because here, like, the blue contrasts really nicely with the yellow, so maybe you could make this more red, because this is steering into brown territory a little bit too much. Maybe you could lean this back towards red a little bit, and then experiment with your wood here a little bit. I don't know, maybe not. Yeah, it's hard to say. There's something off about this red, this clayish red. Thing is, the Red Rock Roscoe is very saturated. I don't think I would use that as a good example. It's actually very, very saturated. Like, whew. It's a bit much. Like, but like it's a similar idea, right? Where you have like the darker brown, the orange, and then the red all working together. You know, and then the blue, of course, is like just fucking neon. So, yeah, I think this needs to be more red. Because like if this was just desaturated, it would look fine. And this is almost in gray territory. Like, let me just look at the texture itself. That'd probably be easier to do, wouldn't it? So Powerhouse, or no, it was Concealed Killers. So that was, what was it? Combat? Camo? And then it was Australia. Yeah, so this is almost into a gray or a black territory. So perhaps instead of this, maybe lean this more towards gray instead of brown. That would probably help. Yeah. Get that more into a grayish territory, like a darker gray. I think that might be the thing to do. One of these three colors is throwing this texture off. Maybe start there. Sequoia Stained. I saw this one earlier. It's a really neat idea. I think filigree in TF2 is a heavily underutilized thing. Heavily underutilized pattern for TF2. Not enough people do this. But my god, the details are just too small. It's too small, and with the random scaling and what have you, and all the little lines and details end up just way, way too thin. The way a pattern like this can work is if you look at some... I closed the goddamn window again. I keep doing it. Oi! Stop it! I will keep going back to the Gentleman's Collection because the Gentleman's Collection, like, set the precedent for so many things you can do for TF2 textures that just look really good. Patterns, Brain, Patterns, Sig. And then it was actually, no, probably better to inspect it in the game because it's on the weapon. So it was the Dress to Kill. It's the brogue or broke, however you say it, pattern, right? And you get on, say, the minigun, right? Like, this is kind of what you got to go for, where the lines are a lot thicker, the level of detail is a lot smaller, the patterns are a bit bigger. Thicker lines, thicker elements to it would look a lot better. Here, everything is just way, way too thin. You really got to thicken them up, space out your elements a little bit, because where's the texture page here? Yeah, it's way too cluttered. You went with like noise filters, it looks like, for a marble texture. Didn't come out really good. It looks really fuzzy and noisy. I would not do that. I would try to emulate the existing marble texture on the gentleman's skins as closely as you can, because that's probably the best example that we'll get in TF2. Where's the marble? Marble. Paisley marble. Not that one. Yeah, try to emulate this as close as possible, because yours is way too fuzzy and has too much detail. You want to go for something like this. If you can get a texture to look like this, you hit the nail on the head. So I would try emulating that. As for your wood, it's really fuzzy. It's almost borderline photographic. I would not use this wood texture. If anything, maybe just go for... no, I think wood is the right choice. Wood is the right choice, but not the texture you've used. It's photographic levels of quality. It looks really bad. You want to go for perhaps... Where is the 2 Fort collection? You want to go for wall metal. Is this one? No, not that one. Where are you? Where's wood yellow? Where's the yellow wood? Where's the yellow wood? Was it 2 Fort collection? No, that was the Craftsman collection. Craftsman collection wood grain. Not that one. Here. This is what you want to go for. This has that painted on look, right? Whereas this wood texture has a way too high level of detail, and it ends up looking really fuzzy, right? This is what you want to go for, because what does this look like in-game? It looks like this on the Tartan Torpedo. See? That looks way, way better. See what I mean? And then if you look at that other one in-game, the stripes on the wood are way too thin, and the overall, like, the texture's really fuzzy and grainy. You want to go for this texture. I think that's what you need to try to do. And also that level of darkness. You want to make it that dark. I think that's better. I think that is a way, way better way to go about it. So, yeah. That's about it. Good luck with improvements. Guys, don't be afraid to send unusual effects. You can send unusual effects. This is the first one we've seen in years. First one we've seen in years. Divine Selection, taunt effects. So already I have to say no, because I think they were a fucking travesty. We don't need more of these. No. It's not good. I don't want more taunt effects. I don't want more taunt effects. I'm sick of them. They're horrible. Why would Valve ever think these are an okay thing to add? Just, no. Sure, it's like not... It's inoffensive compared to other ones we've received, but that's not an excuse to put more in the game. Stop it! I think they're horrible. What is this? What is this, man? What the fuck? What? Is this, like... I don't know how to feel about this one. It's like a shako and, like, a train? It looks weird. Like, the brim is bad, and, like, the wings, simplify the fuck out of this. Okay, so get rid of the wings, shrink the cross, make the brim solid, don't have, like, the grill. Why is there a grill on the brim? That looks really bad. Get rid of the grill, make that a solid color, shrink down the cross, center that, and then maybe you can keep the vertical stripe coming down the middle, and then maybe you could even keep the wings, but it's way too chunky. It's way too chunky. It looks, yeah, it's the chunkiness of it that's really throwing me off. Like, because you have something to the effect of, like, the Medic's mountain cap, right? Like here, it's not that, like, medic! It's not this big, chunky, goofy thing slapped onto a hat. It looks like it's actually part of the hat, like sewed on, or like a patch or a piece of the actual clothing, and not like this plastic toy that is smack in the middle of someone's head, you know? Doesn't look very good. Is it a Kill la Kill reference? Is it fucking really? Is it really? Hold on, is it Non on Kill la Kill? I haven't seen that show since like what, 2017, so I don't fucking remember. It is, dude. Okay. Even funny reference, but it doesn't look good as a TF2 hat. All right. Yeah, it's probably a Kill la Kill reference. Probably, but it doesn't look very good. It doesn't look very good. I don't think it does. Ashlocked. Okay, I thought for a moment I thought this was like a visual bug. This stripe is very much unnecessary. Get rid of that. You don't need it. What's happening here? What? This is bizarre. Yeah, like this looks fine. That looks like a tortilla. That is a tortilla. This is a tortilla. You made it, like, how? Like, how'd this guy manage to make a tortilla? How'd he do it? Was it, like, it was accidental? He made a fucking tortilla texture. What the fuck? What the fuck? Yeah, so this stripe looks really bad. I would not make it red and blue. It's way too saturated and way too thin. I would just make this, like, hold on. Let me just do this. I'll just do it in fucking MS Paint. It's easier. Like, I would just do this. Can I have my paintbrush tool, please? Paintbrush thick. And, like, I would just do it as, like, it's not big enough. I would just have this be all one color. I would not do a split line down the middle like this. Looks really bad. And I would have this line be the same color as the grout in between your tiles. That way these two textures are tied together a bit more nicely. It looks like you took existing, I think that's what they did. I don't think they made these textures because it looks like to me they took existing pictures and then they slapped some filters on in Photoshop because that's what these gritty lines are right here. I don't think, did this guy make these textures? Did you? I hope you did. I don't know if you did. I don't know what weird filters you applied here. You don't need them. I see what you were trying to do. Like you're trying to incorporate like the painterly style onto that, but it looks really fuzzy and pixelated. I would get rid of that immediately. It looks really bad. Why is everything so fuzzy? Like the concept is fine, but you threw in a bunch of grit. If you can get a way to get rid of the grit, that's fine, and then get rid of this stripe texture. Better yet, make this like I want to know what this guy did. I want to know what this guy did. Sorry, I am poor, so no in-game screenshot. Is it just your... Did someone else take these screenshots for you, and that's why it's so noisy? Is that what's happening here? And so, as a result, your screenshot showcases are fucking ugly? That might be it, yeah. Okay, so, rewind everything I just said. He made the textures. It's just that his screenshot quality is fucking terrible, and whoever did this for him did a terrible job. Give this to someone else. Like if you don't have a decent enough computer to take screenshots, you need to give it to someone else so they can do it for you, because very obviously this did not do your work justice, and it made me immediately think you had done a bunch of other stuff, right? And the fact you had to like have a note saying I have no in-game screenshots and have like poor quality of it, it does not do you any favors. So yeah, respect the grind, absolutely, but you need to ensure that before you put it on Steam, it's genuinely representative of what you've made. So be very careful with that. Resubmit this with proper screenshots from someone. I'll do it for you, and then go from there. Saw that already. Oh yeah, so yeah, I can go back and make the comment that I made earlier on this one. Yeah, so the thing that's throwing this one off for me is that there's a lot of, like, you have a clashing of 90-degree angles with different line thicknesses that's making this look busier than it needs to be, right? So like you have what looks like the arm on like a leather jacket right here. So like you have these lines here, and then you have the lines with the leather, and then you have the higher level of contrast on the painterly textures that's adding more of these 90-degree angles on there. And so when you have these different line thicknesses that are like crossing over each other, it makes it look a little bit too busy. That's why whenever you're doing like a gridded texture with you know, like metal plates or something, ideally, you want to stick with one. You might be able to get away with two if the line thicknesses are similar. One war paint that handles this really well in terms of a single line thickness is uranium. This looks really clean, but then if we were to suddenly incorporate some other 90-degree, you know, what's the fucking phrase I'm looking for here? Orthogonal? Is that it? Am I thinking about that right? Orthogonal. Yeah, so yeah, if you have an additional set of orthogonal lines that are not this same thickness on a texture that's either next to it or on the same texture, it's gonna look really noisy and it's gonna clash in the worst way possible. So that's what's throwing me off here, is you have the stitching of a different thickness than the lines here and of a different color on different textures, right? And so when you place these two things next to each other, it makes my eyes unhappy. So that's why I said you could probably do away with the stitching and then just keep that as a leather texture, and then I think that would be the only improvement this needs. That's just me. Oh yeah, I did accidentally roll a perfectly oriented uranium texture, didn't I? That's actually very rare. I pulled up uranium and I had a perfectly 90-degree centered texture. If someone actually unboxed that, that'd be worth a lot of money. To like, you know, like the 3 or 4 people genuinely interested in TF2 skins. Like if you manage to roll a perfectly oriented, you know, like either Neo Tokyo or Uranium or Bomber Soul or what have you. If you get one that's like at a perfect 90-degree angle, like even this is still offset. Let me try again. Get another one. Get one as close as we can. If you can get one as close to, like, that's pretty fucking close, right? If you get one that close, some skin collector or a trader would definitely pick this up from you, because that's very rare, and guess what? Tends to look a whole hell of a lot nicer. So, anyway. This guy's name is literally Fortnite Fred. What the fuck? No, thanks. What is happening here? Good God in heaven, fuck me. Yeah, this just isn't, like, what, okay. Chat. What about this says TF2 to you? What about this says TF2 to you? To me, it says nothing. Like, Pyro still has his gloves, he's got his boots, and he's got the canister on his back. But the colors are off, the stylization of the modeling is off, you got too much random extraneous detail on here. Like, even for a Halloween cosmetic, this just doesn't fit in the game. It's not good at all. So, massive... What else has this guy made? I'm curious now. Yeah, he seems to be the type to throw in a lot of extra details onto stuff that I don't think is necessary. And he also changed, like, the coloring on Pyro, which looks bad. Don't do that. Music? Classically trained? I see what you're going for here. This is like a... Stradivarius is a classical stringing. What is a Stradivarius? I don't know what this is. I'm not familiar with this instrument. Is it like a violin? I guess it is. It's all, apparently it's like a woman's clothing brand as well. But yeah, this is the instrument they were going for here. Okay, I see where they got that from. All right. So that's the theming behind it. The colors are really good. Colors are really good. I don't like how you did the sticker, though. The sticker sticks out. Again, this is going back to, like, that 3D type of thing that doesn't really work well for TF2. I like that the custom wear is lighter than the rest of the textures. Like, you know, like if you have a piece of varnished wood, you know, like dark lacquer or something, and then you scratch it, then that scratch is lighter than the wood. That is a nice detail that they put here. Looks very good. I like that. Reminds me of Local Hero, actually. Local Hero does that very nicely. Where are you? Oop, wrong one. Yeah, Local Hero does that, right? It's like, here's factory new, and then when you go to, like, well-worn or battle-scarred, it looks like you're scratching off the lacquer. I like that a lot. So it's nice to see someone doing that again for a war paint. I dig it. The black, I want more of this black on other weapons. I know you're limited by the war paint system in terms of whatever you use as your base. Like, this just does not have enough of the black, but the black really helps this. Oh, fuck. If it didn't have this black, it'd be way too much brown. But this is good. I like this. I don't like how you did the sticker. It's not nearly as bad as the, what's it called? What's that fucking thing called? The New Orleans Saints have it as their logo for the football team. What is that thing fucking called? What is it? Fucking look it up again. God damn it. What is that called? Fleur de lis. Thank you. Why could I can never remember what's that called. Fleur de lis. Thank you. Yeah, that warpaint that had the fleur de lis on it. It had that 3D embossing type thing, which doesn't look good in TF2. This is kind of doing the same thing here. It's not as harsh with its shadows, so it's not as bad. I like it. Huh? I guess you got too much. Like, whoa. Yeah, this is like another instance of having way too much being changed on Demo Man. Like, no, like, you have like the 3D like gold team logo. You gotta look simple. I'm always on like the simpler is better. Simpler is better when you're doing stuff for this. It's just too much, man. Like, without the pants, can we just have this without the pants? The pants are too much. Like, at least, like, if I put my hands on my screen and I look at the left two options, that at least still looks like Demo Man. But then I look at the right two options, it doesn't look like Demo Man anymore, except for the fact that his vest and grenades are still there. And I don't like this because they had to, like, model over his pants. It makes him chunky. I don't like cosmetics that do this. Can I just like these two? And the buttons look weird too. Like the way the buttons are textured on there looks really bizarre. Like they look oddly 3D. Like you don't get this on TF2 shit, man. It doesn't look right. Like you don't see that. It looks bizarre. I don't like it. It's too 3D. Like I made this in like what's the fucking old paint program? Yeah, and the way, their spacing is really bad. They're like, but they're all differently shaped too. What the fuck? Yeah, I don't like this. It's not the right kind of texturing. The modeling is bizarre on the legs. Like, if we did away, if this was like a not 3D looking logo, that'd be better. The hat is, oh fuck me. Like, Neodemon, what are you doing, man? Like, I know you can do better. This looks like shit. I know you have like 80 cosmetics in this fucking game. You've made decent stuff before. What the fuck is this dumpster fire? You can do better. Holy fuck. Saw that already. Saw this before. Calorie burner. I don't like the pants. I don't like that they modeled over his pants. What they should have done is they should have still tucked the sweatpants into his boots, like it's done here. Then I think it would have looked better. But they decided to model over his entire leg, and so it makes him look really chunky. I don't like that. I think the concept is fine until I saw that. So, yeah, moving on. Yeah, we saw that already. Star chart. Okay, way too much detail on the primary and secondary textures. Jesus. Like, the colors, like, okay, so, like, immediately you would think that the colors would be the first thing wrong. But no, the colors are actually pretty fucking good. Like, they mesh decently well with the game. Like, the colors are great, but the texture work is really off. You got way too many details on here. You need to simplify this to some degree. Like, you don't need the stars on the wood. You don't need, like, this could just be solid gold. You don't need, like, is this, like, meant to be, like, a sundial or some kind of star map or something? And it doesn't really feel like a TF2 skin. Maybe you could have themed the mapping of the stars to have, like, TF2 stuff with it? It screams Mona from Genshin Impact. I don't even know. I don't know what Genshit is. Mona. Genshin Impact. Yeah, a little bit. I can't show that on stream, but yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I would try tying the primary texture into TF2 a little bit more. Also, a lot of finer, thin details like this will get lost on most of your weapon models, so I would definitely try making them thicker and chunkier like you see in a lot of TF2's details, right? Like, look at how far away I am from this wall, and I can still very clearly see the spaces in between the wood planks. And I can still very clearly see the lines on here. Whereas this guy is holding up his weapon model, and my eyeballs are struggling to see and focus. It also just because I'm getting old and I have shit vision. But my eyeballs are struggling to see the smaller details on this. That's not a good thing. So I would definitely thicken up your lines, maybe just scale up everything by a little bit. Get rid of the finer details, like the little star sparkles here. Like, those aren't needed. Like, the pattern looks cool, but if you tied it... Yeah, I like your primary texture here. You just need to tie it into TF2 a bit more, and I would get rid of your details here, thicken things up a little bit. Make this like I don't know, like do like a demo man or like a medic or something, like you know, like just theme it into TF2 a little bit. This has potential. This has potential. If you get the colors right on a war paint, that's like the #1 thing, and then everything else you can kind of work in there somehow. So you can do something with this. It needs some tweaks. The supplier. We have a war paint themed after ammo packs. I really hate this showcase so much. What's with this fucking font? What is with this fucking text art? I feel like I'm in I'm in PowerPoint in 2003. Yeah, give me some text art. So I can like, oh, my presentation looks so good now. Graphic design is my passion. I'm immediately shitting on this guy for his promos, but the war paint looks really good. I like the war paint, but your promos really, oh my god. Oh shit. Yeah, so tip for your promos, you really want to just use a backdrop of the game to really showcase how your weapon's going to look in-game. Like, this is fine. Like, what you did here, that's great. And I know you're, like, trying to be a little bit creative, but, oh man, you got a really busy picture that you've blurred out in the background. It adds so much noise. And then your choice of text is a little retro, I think. But no, the war paint's really nice. It's a nice, simple war paint that's themed after ammo packs, and the colors are great. The texture work is like, it's meant to be an inherently simple war paint. I think it's really good. I think it's good. I think it's nice. I'd like to see it. Despite the promo work, just fuck. I'm sorry. Like, look, even in higher wear, this looks really good, but I can't get over the fucking text. I can't get over the text. Sorry, I don't mean to be so mean. What is this, man? Is this a map? It's a map. What the fuck? It's so stupid. War Paintable Dragon's Fury. You know, I've actually thought about this more so in recent months, and you know what? I'm kind of okay with the Dragon's Fury not being paintable. Personally, I don't think every weapon in TF2 needs war paints. I think war paints were a bad idea when they expanded the skin system to 44 different weapon models instead of the original 14, which were all stock weapons. I think that would have been the decent medium for incorporating skins into TF2, where if it was limited to stock weaponry, then you could expect skins only on stock weaponry. But skins just don't look good on a lot of weapon models for a variety of reasons. Some look better on others, but it's too much. It's too much. So, and I mean, yeah, if we got a war paintable Dragon's Fury, then we could like finally get a strange version. But I think I would be happier with a strange vanilla Dragon's Fury than I would having to see this in the game, you know? I think it's okay to not have skins on every weapon model, so I'm gonna have to say no. No thanks to a paintable Dragon's Fury. This is a Lord of the Rings reference, isn't it? I mean, not your usual Smith elf. Haha, I see what you did there, because we have to get creative, and now we're gonna like rag on our own work and what other people have did, you know, because like, oh yeah, we know you guys don't like elves for Christmas, so here's a different elf for you. I mean, clever. It would be good for a Halloween cosmetic, but I don't think this should be... Oh god, the fucking paintable hair. I mean, what did I expect? Sniper doesn't look good blonde. He doesn't look good blonde. The default should have been brown hair. The default, I get it, you know, it's meant to be Legolas from Lord of the Rings, that's fine. But you could have done brown hair for Sniper. Giving Sniper blonde hair by default just looks really strange. I don't think that's, like, if it was brown, like, if it was this color, like, fucking god. Like, if it was this color by default, that already looks way better. And then you could dye it a lighter color if you really wanted to look like Legolas that closely, but doing vanilla blonde by default, not a good idea. Spy's Amusement. Very old taunt. I mean, it's very Spy. The animation work is very choppy, or not choppy, just very spliny, very interpolated. It's good that it's simple, but it's a little rusty, a little stiff, you know? But I like the idea, I like the concept, it just needs some polishing, and then I would like to see it in game. Yeah, unfortunately, this is, 9 years ago, so it'll never be touched again. Yeah, this is another instance of, like, too much. I don't like this at all. Like, other jumpsuits work in TF2 for a reason, right? So, for example, we have, what was it called again? Why don't I remember what this fucking cosmetic is called? Hello? What is it called? Here we go. So, for example, the Sub-Zero suit works because it retains a lot of other elements that are on the pyro. You still get the strap, you still get the grenades, you still get his waist belt, and you still get his backpack. So it's still very clearly the pyro, but with a winter suit underneath. Here, they just modeled over the entire engineer. So you have nothing that resembles the engineer anymore except his waist belt and his glove, right? If they could figure out some way to get his suspenders and overalls on there and keep other elements of the engineer on there, then it would have looked better. But here, it's just a complete overhaul on what you would expect the engineer to, what you would expect them to look like, and I don't think it looks good at all. So I'm gonna say no. I don't like it. I mean, clever, but I mean, I've seen this war paint so many times. It's been sent to me countless times. And what's neat about it is, like, yeah, they used colors within TF2's palette, which is fine. I mean, would I be extremely offended if this was added? Probably not, considering we have shit like, I don't know, this in the game. So it's a reference to an artist, a piece of art. I don't recall what... If anyone knows the artist's name, by all means. But the thing this war paint does is it has just one too many colors. Piet Mondrian, that's the artist apparently. this war paint has one too many colors that throw off the palette, right? Like if this was team colored, oh, is it on there? Oh, there it is. I'm stupid. My bad. Yeah, if this was team colored where this was another blue instead of red, then I think that would be a lot better. But here you have the red and the blue and the yellow and the black and the white kind of all clashing together. And it makes the composition overall a little busy. I'd like to see this redone, except for a team color version. I think that would be better. Because, I mean, the texture work is fine. I think, like, the spacing of the different, you know, polygonal elements is totally fine. It's just the colors are too many. You know, bring it to red or blue team, and not having both on the same thing would be a better thing to do. I don't want my mercenaries fat. Why do we have to have fat mercenaries? It's just so goofy looking. It's so stupid. We don't need this. Look how awful this is. Fuck me. Oh, it's horrible. No. I don't want all my mercenaries fat. Spy is skinny. Keep him skinny. They should make a war skin for the vaccinator that makes it completely invisible to other players and also deletes it from the game entirely. See, Joey, you're the heavy guy, right? You're the heavy guy. And when it comes to damage resistances, bullet resistance is the most oppressive. So, you feel it a lot more than your average player, so I understand the sentiment. I have the same sentiment as you, my friend. But no, we don't need fat fucking spy. It looks dumb, so no. Almighty attire. Did I see this one before? I feel like I did. Did I see it? The whole set here. I don't remember if I saw this one. See, like, going back to that other hat we saw before that was apparently a Kill la Kill reference, this is the correct version of that hat, right? Shrinks down the logo, looks like it's part of the hat, logo's in the middle, the brim is solid, you don't have the spaces in there. The mustache is kind of ugly. It looks like hay. You should have made it a bit, you know, thicker. The mustache is fucking ugly. Can we have a version without it? I guess not. The coat is... Let me look at it. I don't like silver. Greg, who is another item creator, made a set for the spy that has silver elements strewn throughout, like on the... I think it was Greg who made this. He had silver elements on his glasses and on his hat, and putting what I assume is going to be shiny silver on the player model like this adds another layer of detail that just clashes really hard with the style of the game, and I don't think it's a good thing to put on there. Like, this would have just been nice if it was another dark color and not silver, right? Same, like, it's okay on the hat, but putting it all over the player model like this, I don't think is a good idea. Like, overall, the modeling work is fine, the placement of the elements and the clothing is totally fine, the colors are fine, I just don't like the silver. The silver's throwing me off. Would I be in the same, and like even the paint region is markedly tame in comparison to other things I've seen. But even then, having this be a color similar to slate, smack dab right in the middle of Medic's chest and the hat, and then having just his gloves to go off of, with nothing in the middle, like having like his tie is gone, that's not a good thing. This shouldn't be paintable, honestly. So I'm gonna say no because it's paintable. Paintable is not good for this at all. Because that adds another extra detail onto this that doesn't do it any good. But if this wasn't paintable, and it was added to the game as is, I would not be offended. I think this is fine, except for the fact that it's silver. I just don't like it. Arguments could be made. It's not the most egregious design choice. It wouldn't heavily impose on the game. I just think it looks out of place. And they made the collar paintable, and they really shouldn't have done that. It's a shame. Standard issued. Did I look at this one before? I think I did. Did they... It was Kira. I don't think I looked at this one of his. I don't think I did. Yeah, I mean, it's another nice, simple, team-colored war paint that I think looks really good. What do y'all think? I think we need more of these. Like, we already have team serviced in the game, right? Like, we have this already. But I hate the... God, I hate the gray on this. Oh, I don't like the gray. I like this type of team-colored war paint a lot more. This is nice. I'd like to see more war paints like these. I think is good. The blue looks really nice. You know what? You know why? I figured out why I like it. Because it is somewhat reminiscent of Coffin Nail in that regard. Where Coffin Nail has one of my favorite textures in the game. And it's this blue element here, either the blue or the red element. This is just, I think, one of the best textures in TF2. Because it just looks so fucking good. And I can pull it up for you. It's the Sig Red or Sig Blue. And there you are. Yeah, it's this texture right here, where it's like the filter paper on the cigarette. Oh, it's just such a good texture for skins in TF2. Fuck, I don't know why more people don't go for this angle. This one did. This skin did, and it looks really fucking nice. Look at the pistols. Pistols? I dig the winger. The winger has like some cool shit going on. Because you get the tertiary or the fourth texture on the wings, which is cool. Pistol. I like this. I mean, I like it. The revolver's fucking sick too. That looks nice. Like, God, this is great. Yes, and yes, please, and thank you. Put this in the game. Team service is dumb, and yeah, that is one problem that Valve did not put the albedo shine, which is what I don't think that's the proper term. But yeah, they didn't put the shine on this. Like what you're looking at right now is like the default lighting, but this one should be shiny, like high rollers, for example. Or where are you? Like for example, like this is really, see how like much shinier that is. Team serviced and secretly serviced should also have that shine, and Valve did not implement it for whatever fucking reason. I suspect out of them just not knowing what to do. This is just my hypothesis, okay? Here's my little gamer theory for you. In recent months, Valve has kind of been fucking up Warpaint implementation, where they either forget to do orientation lock, or they forget some kind of UV element, or some kind of lighting thing, or albedo, what have you. I think what happened was, but before a certain point, it was never really an issue. I think whoever was working at Valve that understood how to implement Warpaints, I think they left. And so now it's just Eric Smith who's plugging stuff into the game, and he doesn't fully know how everything works, so he forgets things. Or things break and don't get fixed, right? That's just my guess. I don't know if it's true, but I think it's just the result of only one guy working on the game that doesn't fully understand how the Warpaint system works. So that's just my guess. I don't know. Anyways, I like this one. I think it's good. What I mean, I don't know how to feel about this. How do I take this? I don't know how to, this is, I mean, fuck yeah, I can use some, these like ball sacks. Fucking ball sacks off the spy. Oh, fuck me. Who are these people? Private profile. Just, okay, I guess. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. Truck nuts on soldier's helmet? Sure. Badlands camo. I think camo is a slight misnomer here. This is very, very regal for a camo. It's gold and silver and wood. It looks nice. It's very sleek, but it's not a camo. It's my autism kicking in, I'm sorry. That looks good. That's pretty good. Yeah, the wood texture is, you know, the right level of shading. Works well with the gold and brass. The silver is nice. I don't know. I like it. I dig it. I mean, it's another simple war paint that's very sleek and shiny. I would go for it. simple war paints are good, and I think we need more of them. I dig it. It looks like something a warlord would have. Yeah, it looks like, what is it? Osama bin Laden's gold-plated AK-47. That's what it looks like. Yeah, this is something the bin Laden sons would have in their personal collections. Or had, I should say. Fireman's boots. Huh. I mean, it adds another level of paint noise onto the pyro, but I'm not offended by the idea. I don't know. I think the idea of boots is fine, and like they tie together. Was this part of a whole set? Well, it was, wasn't it? Or no, it wasn't. It's just a collection of shit. But yeah, having like the boots tie into, you know, the fire brigade helmet and then the trickster's turnout gear, and then having this on there. I don't like the logos on the side. I don't think you need these. I would get rid of those, but having this tie into the rest of the cosmetics in the set, it looks good. I like it. The idea of boots is good. I just don't like the fact they're paintable, and I don't like the goofy logo on the side. It adds too much noise. Not a fan of it. Like a mobster heavy? I don't know how to feel about this. Let's look at the full set. I don't know how to feel about it. Something about giving the heavy an untucked shirt puts me through a loop, and I don't like it. Yeah, I think the wrinkles are throwing me off here. I think that's one thing throwing me off. I don't like the wrinkles, like the tucked in shirt wrinkles. I mean, you don't really see a lot of detail. Like, you look, like, compare the wrinkles on the shirt to the wrinkles on like Heavy's legs. Looks odd. I don't like that. Yeah, it's like, it's too wrinkly. I don't think like the print is needed on the sleeves. It's a cute detail. It's not offensive, but perhaps not needed. I would smooth out the undershirt. I don't like the untucked shirt. I think that looks bad. I think it would look better if it was tucked in. Honestly. And then we have the version without the gold collar on it. Yeah, I think the shirt would look better if it was tucked in. It should have used a normal map to fit it with the Heavy's player model. Then yeah, if that would solve the weird wrinkling, then yeah, that's probably what they should have done, because I don't like the way it works. Yeah, the shirt collar. Yeah, the collar is super thick, but it's not terrible looking. Like I like the combo of the dark undershirt and then like the colored overshirt. This doesn't look paintable, thank God. Yeah, it's just this is bothering me. I don't like this. I feel like it should be tucked in, or it should be shorter. It needs to end at his waist. But then you have like the weird asymmetry on the other side where like it's pushed back behind his little vest pouch, or his little waist pouch there. I don't like the untucked shirt. It's bothering me. The pants, like, see, like the pants are great when you have like the tucked inness, and like here we go. Like here's another example of like an untucked shirt, but it's not super long, right? Like it's still contained around his waist, which looks a whole hell of a lot better. I like the pants. I think the pants are okay. Granted, part of me also doesn't like the fact that they're not team tinted at the very least, because at least the Heavy has that with its default model, right? You know, you have this, and yes, it's, you know, it's a supplementary color to his team coloring, but I don't like removing elements of readability in the game, no matter how subtle they are. I feel like they could have kept it like a very, very dark blue for blue, and then a very, very, very dark red for red, just to give it a little bit of that, right? But so I don't like the idea of putting solid black on a player model. This one falls short in this set falls short in on several angles, and I don't think it's appropriate for the game, in my opinion. And no, the class logo is gone on that one as well. Team Checker. We have another checkerboard war paint. I feel like whenever these war paints are made, they would seriously benefit from being orientation locked, because when they're not, it looks really bad. I don't know, man. I just make, like, there's a way to get this onto an orientation locked war paint, then do it. Too flat, maybe? Yeah, the primary texture could use a little something to kind of break it up. Like, if you go to, like, Corsair, like, Corsair handles a checkerboard print relatively well. Corsair. You know, like, you look at the Corsair, right? It's very desaturated. Doesn't take up too much real estate. When you have a lot of real estate taken up by a checkered pattern, it just doesn't look good. Do we have anything that does that? We have Corsairs, but then we have... Yeah, so... And also works on Corsair because it's orientation lock. But then you go to something like... What did we get? Was it Sky Stallion, which is one we got in the summertime, which should have had orientation lock, so it would look better than what it does, than how it does now. But the fact you get random orientation on this, like, there we go, like, that looks better because it's fixed, but then, ew, it gets offset and the scaling is random. Yeah, just, Checkers are hard to get right. Checkers are hard to get right. Yeah, Killer Bee as well, but that's also not, it doesn't take up a lot of real estate. Yeah, it's not bad. The colors are fine. The texture work is largely okay, but I think orientation lock is needed on this kind of thing. Classy Rock. I'm just getting, like, a lot of war paints. Lots of war paints. Does it use a gradient or is it team colored? Yes, uses team color. I dig it. I dig it very much. It's like Blast and Bombardier, but instead of red and blue, it's orange and yellow, which I can appreciate. Where are you? I can't read. There you go. Yeah, it's like this skin, but instead of red and blue, it's orange and yellow. And now a war paint, so it can go on everything. I like it. Very clean, very sleek. I heavily approve. I really don't see anything wrong with this one. I'll take it. Looks good. Broke, I guess? Okay, so I'm gonna take a quick break. I need something to drink. And we will continue in just a moment. I also need to piss, so be right back. Give me just a moment. Okay. I have returned. Give me just a moment. 1 second. Okay. All right. I put some water onto boil for tea. I haven't done this for a while, so I forgot how taxing it is on the voice and on the throat. So it makes you a little tired. Makes your voice a little tired. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Anywho, I have a little sweet here. Someone gave me Krispy Kreme jelly beans with 5 flavors: cinnamon apple filled, strawberry iced, glazed blueberry cake, original glazed, and chocolate iced with sprinkles. When was the last time that any of you have gone to a Krispy Kreme? I think I went to one 13 years ago, and I've never gone back. All right, we got wow, they smell like woof. Yeah, they smell like frosting. We got strawberry first. Not very good. Strawberry is pardon me as I scratch my nose and pick it. Got an itch in there. Strawberry is not very good. Kind of ew, honestly. It tastes like it kind of tastes like the box that the donuts come in. Yeah, strawberry ice is like it's like a 3 out of 10. Not very good. Not very good at all. Let's go for original glazed. That tastes much better. Original glazed is acceptable. Original glazed is acceptable. Let me like pull out the other flavors here so I can like try them. So that's apparently blueberry. That's chocolate. The missing one? And then there's like there's like a cinnamon apple filled somewhere in here, apparently. They give you mostly of like the glazed flavor for some reason. I don't know why. The flavors of these kind of all blend with each other. So that's apple, apparently. That's blueberry. And then that's chocolate. Okay. Sure, fuck it. Blueberry. Or no, chocolate rather. Yep, that's chocolate. It just tastes like chocolate. That's just chocolate. Gunman's Delight. Did I look at this one before? It's very similar to another one I saw earlier with the gold. Yeah, I saw this one. I saw this one earlier. So, oh, it was part of a collection of them. So, Gunman's Delight Nightfall is the other one of the two. Yeah, this is just this is good. Simple, clean. You got like a dark wood with a dark metal. Fuck yeah. Oh, fuck yeah. Yeah, this is great. This is perfect. Yeah, this one's good. This one's good. I'll take this. This one's great. My nose itches. I have allergies. I'm sorry. Fuck. It's just constantly itching. Ugh. Yeah, this one's nice. Good simple war paint. I dig it. Good mercenary grade. Oh, Photoshop noise filters, my beloved. Oh, how horrible you look no matter what you do. It just looks... I mean, yeah, the point is that it's supposed to look like the foil inside of a candy wrapper, but it looks really, really ugly. That is a horrible texture. It's a hideous texture. It's also too saturated. And also the scaling is too small. It looks really bad. The Dolico sticker looks good. I like this part of the war paint. I like the style. This is the only good part of the war paint. I like this texture here. I like the Dolico sticker. That's fine. Chocolate texture it looks blurry. It looks fuzzy. I don't appreciate that at all. I feel like they could thin the lines a little bit. Or go for like a solid brown. Even that might work better. Something. But I don't like the grid. The grid looks weird. Mainly because the lines are too thick. And like, the lighter gray and white contrasts with the team color quite well, but the brown looks really, really bad. Like, I understand what they're going for here. Like, that's the whole palette of the chocolate bar. Thank you. Appreciate that. But the brown looks pretty bad. I don't like the brown. Yeah, I mean, it's a cute idea, but I think it's a bit of a dud, honestly. Like, if they got rid of this super noisy texture, they can salvage some of this. They can salvage some of this. You can salvage the team color texture. The sticker looks fine. Don't have this noisy tinfoil. I would simplify this with something that just looks like paper. That would be fine. But the chocolate, the dark brown, just contrasts with the white and the team color in the worst way possible. I don't like it. I'm not a fan of it. Arms of Steel. Another camo. You got too much of that grit. Like, I know what you're going for here. Like, you want to get, like, the paint chipping off the edges. You want, you know... You can incorporate a little bit of that, right? You can get some of that in your textures, and it will look good. But when your details are as fuzzy and as small as this, it looks like noise and static, and it just gets lost. It doesn't do you any favors. Like, here you have this outline, which does help the sticker pop. You definitely need to keep that. But having it look like scraped paint doesn't look very good for a TF2 texture. So even at this scale, and this is one of your larger stickers that you're going to get on a weapon model. So for example, you go to... Was it this one? Yeah, here, see? You get some paint chips and some finer scratches, right? But they're relatively large on the overall texture. When you have a very small detail like this, even at max graphic settings, it gets really, really small and very fuzzy. So, I love the camo texture. The primary camo texture looks really good. I like this metal texture. But, like, even here, I don't like how fuzzy this is. The sticker itself is fine. The design is fine. But the paint chips, it doesn't look like TF2 too much. You got too many fine... It's like... I'm using the incorrect word of photographic, but... Should stickers wear the overall weapon wear? I don't think so. I don't think they should. It's too noisy for TF2. So, by the way, the final flavor that was cinnamon apple filled, pretty good. So like three out of the 5 flavors of jelly beans in this bag are decent. I'm not eating the whole bag, just trying to try them. Yeah, the lines aren't very good. Also, like, this is very reminiscent of Warborn, right? You go to Warborn. Where are you? Warborn, right? It almost looks like the same texture. Almost. Is it the same texture? They just recolor it? No, it's not. But like, it's very similarly thin lines with the rivets. You might want to size up these a little bit and make them a little bigger, because here it's just a bit too small, where if even on the largest weapon models of like the black box, if it's a really fuzzy detail and I really can't tell what it is at a glance, and I'm like having to like stare at it and focus, like, what the fuck is that? Oh, it's a rivet in a line. It's too small. So I would bump those up a little bit. You can get away with finer and smaller details on skins, right? Because, you know, most of the time they're on your screen and you're far away enough from other people. But where even if it's at the scaling of my screen and I can hardly see these details, then it's too small. So that's just me. Frontline Fieldsman. I think I looked at this one before, but I don't remember. Why are we giving him so many pockets? Why does the medic need more pockets? I like the shoulders. The pockets look really stupid. Get rid of them. You don't need the pockets. They're ugly. Oh, that's the only change. Just no pockets. You can keep this, you can keep this, you can keep the straps on the side, the overall modeling on the coat. Look, they got him on his pants too. Why? Why does he have so many fucking pockets? Like cargo shorts, except on his coat. The fuck? Yeah, I also don't like that his team logo is gone. I think you should put that back. Yeah, I'm not a fan of it. Too many pockets. Laced and loaded. So just extra grenades on Pyro's legs? Oh, I see. They changed up his straps. It looks weird. Yeah, changing Pyro's bandolier like that looks very bizarre. Yeah, it's kind of like this looks like it's meant to look like a parachute backpack, right? I get that, but it's not. Like this version looks the best, but whatever the fuck, that's like a diaper, like a big spandex like diaper like for wrestlers, like the what's it called? Leotard? It looks like a leotard. That's what it is. Not a fan of that. This version looks the best because I don't like all these. It's yeah. I need to look at a default Pyro just for reference here. I don't want to break up my loadouts, dude. I'll get rid of you. Yeah, because you have the two straps going across his body lengthwise, and you have the bandolier there. That's why I think this one looks the best. This one looks good, because you still get this here. At least you have the straps here, so technically this one should be the best as well, but then you have these here, which look really bizarre. Like, yeah, they look... There's something about the modeling and how they're layered over the Pyro span, and like the zipper. Look at the level of detail on the zipper is like fuzzy and crusty. No, this isn't very good. I'm gonna say no. Antique Killer. Would be insanely uncomfortable IRL. I don't think parachute backpacks are meant to be comfortable. I don't think Pyro is comfortable at all. He's in like a fucking hot, sweaty asbestos suit. And you wonder why people fetishize it. But I don't think he's comfortable at all. This is, I think, definitely the weakest of the war paints we've seen from this guy today. I don't like the purple and the pink. It's at least washed out enough, but I don't like how they're clashing with the wood and the gold. I'm not a fan of that. Yeah, that looks out of place. Like these textures are too light. Here you have, it looks darker here, right? So like this looks good, but here, it could also be the lighting of your screenshots. But like this looks too light with the wood you've chosen. So perhaps you should bump the saturation a tiny bit on both of these and then darken it. Maybe. An attempt to do big kill. Yeah, like that looks better than this. Like all these colors right here play really nicely, but it's this lighter one that's throwing me off. The lighter one's throwing me off. Yeah, I'm not a fan of this one so much as your others. Very noisy. Good God. Yeah, this type of random geometric pattern looks really bad in TF2, especially at this level. It doesn't even look like a TF2 texture. It looks like a texture from a different game. I'm looking at a weapon from a different game. Not a fan. Does not look very good at all. I'm gonna say no. It's kind of a dud. Occupational hazard. Didn't I see this one before? I feel like I saw some version of this one before. Did I? I don't remember. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. I don't remember. But it's not bad. I like this one. I feel like it's a bit punchy on the yellow, but at least you have these other elements here that break it up. This is nice. Like, if you're gonna have little random elements like this, keep them few and far between that help break up the primary texture, but don't have them be so big where you have like a big chunk that's all this color and then another chunk that's all this color, right? You get what I'm saying? You have little bits like this that break it up. That looks quite nice. Yeah, I'm okay with this one. No. I like the helmet. The helmet is nice, but again, we have another instance where we've just put way too much stuff onto a character model. Too many small details, too many extra things. You're incorporating non-default colors into his palette. I just don't think that's a good idea. I'm going to assume that the coat is paintable in some capacity as well, because why wouldn't it be? It has to be. Please tell me it's not paintable. Doesn't seem like it's paintable. Thank fuck. Again, it's like, I'm not saying, like, this looks bad. Like, it looks really good. And yeah, this is definitely better than, like, this is better than the other one we saw of him looking like a French whatever the fuck. I don't know. But everything above the waist is okay. Below the waist, you have, like, the curtain on his coat and the boots with the detailing. It's just, it's not Spy when you have giant chunky feet. It's not Spy when you have giant chunky feet. That's also something that, like, throws it off for me. So, also, like, the texture work is fuzzy. Why does it look so grainy? I don't, like, I have to go look at Spy now. Like, when it comes to adding details on a Spy, I think this is about as far as you should go. Like, this is an acceptable amount of details on Spy because it retains areas on the Spy where, like, in the vanilla, right? Vanilla? 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 Hello? Guess I can't see my loadouts now. Gotta love the item servers breaking. But, like, a lot of areas on the Spy are very clean. Like, his arms are clean, his legs are clean and slender. But when you add, like, a bunch of extra details all over him, like the this rim on his collar, the buttons here, the buttons on his boots, and all of these, like, whatever they did for this texturing, it looks really bad. It does too much and incorporates too much on the Spy. It just doesn't look good. Yeah, the idea is very nice, but the execution really leaves something to be desired. Okay, more links. I completely forgot where I was, so if I missed some ones, I'm very sorry. Okay, so let me pull this up, get more of these. Did I already see these at all? No, I didn't see all these. Okay. Okay, you posted 3 links, so I'm ignoring your message. Also, I would appreciate if creators would post no more than 2 of their own works. Like, don't flood the chat with, like, 20 of your own creations, because I don't want to rob other people of their slots and what they want me to look at. So, because I see one guy has posted like 30 things. I would have, like, don't do that. Let's see here. Now I'm going out of my way to, like, pick people whose links I know I've not clicked on. Okay. All right. We saw that. Saw that. Okay, here we are. Here we are. Guy Fieri shirt. No. I mean, it's cute, sure, but it adds a lot of visual noise on the pyro that is just unnecessary. That looks just, yeah, funny, haha joke, but we don't need this in the game. What the fuck? It's like a mushroom. I mean, the colors are fine. The colors are fine. The scaling on the pattern is okay. It feels organic, but in the wrong way for me. Maybe it's not too bad. Now that I'm seeing in-game screenshots. This is how you do your showcases, by the way. This is the right way to do it. It looks noisy. It looks really noisy when you zoom out and away from it. Like, when you get a scaling where the textures are bumped up quite a bit, you don't get that noisiness. Like here, they're scaled up quite a bit, so you have larger areas of these 2 colors, but then when it's put on something like the grenade launcher, they get scaled down, so it gets really noisy the further you get away. That's just, I mean, that's the nature of the warpaint system. You're at the mercy of how things are put on them, so I can't fault the guy for that. I don't know. I'm not strongly offended by this. I really don't see anything that needs changing. I think it's okay. I think it's okay. It's not great. I think it's all right. I would not be offended if I saw this put in game, I should say. Unique rocket models. I mean, well, it's incompatible. It's a cute idea. You know, having different rockets from different rocket launchers, having a different model, which I think it's a nifty thing, but when it comes to rocket readability, it's not really necessary for the game, and I feel like it would potentially add unnecessary visual noise. I know, guys, I know it's old. I know it's old. It's not going to get added. I get it. I know this has been around for years. But, I mean, again, it's a cute idea. And we have it, and there's the thing. It works for sticky bombs because sticky bombs are a visible, or a visible hazard, I should say. They're a visible hazard. So when you look at them, it's beneficial to you to know what type of sticky bomb launcher they came from, right? Like you see a default, you know it's default. You see a Scottish Resistance one, you know it's a Scottish Resistance. And then if you see if a quickie bomb one, it's like, oh shit, this might do more damage to me because if this guy charged it, it might do way more damage than stock. And then of course, sticky jumper is sticky jumper. So it's beneficial to have different models for, say, sticky bombs, but not so much for rocket launchers because you usually see the model when it's already super close to you, and because it explodes on impact, there's no lasting necessity for you to look at that rocket. All you know is you gotta move and get out of the way, right? Again, it's a cute idea. It'd be fun if it was added, but is it necessary? Like from the angle of improving gameplay, is it necessary? No. Is it a cool idea? Would it be cool to see it? Yeah. I wouldn't mind it. Oh, here we go. Here's a compatible version. Oh, it looks weird. Okay, now that I'm seeing examples of it, it looks kind of weird. I mean, it kind of works for the rocket jumper one, but like having the rockets look like a miniaturized version of like this one also looks decent, but the airstrike one looks okay. I think it's the beggars one looks especially ugly. Like, why not just have like a normal rocket being shoved into that one? The rest are okay. Black box one is nice. Direct hit one is okay. Airstrike one is a little goofy. I'm not like that looks weird. Is there an alt one? Yeah, this alternative one looks way better than this one. Like the one with the point in the wings is kind of visually busy. This one looks a lot nicer. And then these are fine. Yeah, the only one I don't like is the alt for the airstrike and the beggars one. Beggars one's kind of eh. Crusher's cap. I don't know. It's okay. It's like a simple. I don't know. It's not bad. I don't know. It's decent. It's like a visually indistinct team captain, but with a headset. It's all right. It's a solid hat. Looks good. Paintable. I could see this being used. You can mix and match it with a bunch of loadouts. I'm pretty okay with it. Dollar store team captain episode 1. Hey, at least it isn't like the shitty cardboard version that was thrown on the workshop some years back. That was fucking dog shit. This is at least a genuine, legitimate, normal hat. No, it would make for a decent mercenary grade, perhaps even a commando grade. I could see someone using this in Burning Flames. I don't know, it's pretty good. I would say yes for this one. I'm okay with it. I've seen this one before, but it was updated? Didn't I see a version of this before? Then it was updated? I don't remember. Or I saw one with a nearly identical idea. At least I think I did. It's really good work. I don't like this sticker, though. Is this a Dragon Slayer? It's a Dragon Slayer base. Okay, cool, yeah. So this is one that uses the Dragon Slayer as a base. So each of these is a custom mapped skin. Valve will never add this. It will never add this, unfortunately. I don't know, it looks decent enough, I would say. The minigun looks fucking awesome. Shotgun is great. Sniper rifle, that's a cute detail. I like that. I feel like the Dragon's Fury is a little off. Like the only thing I don't like is this sticker. I don't like this sticker. This doesn't feel TF2 enough. Because like if you try to envision like what would a TF2 space program look like, it would look like this really, you know, half-baked attempt at painting on logos for a rocket. It would be very rough. This is almost too clean for a TF2 logo. But like the way they had like the pickaxe and the sledgehammer, then they kind of worn it down on the side. That looks quite nice. This is a little, also the blue is kind of clashing in a way I don't like. Maybe if you just changed the colors on this and had this just be like the same colors as the rest of the weapon, then that would tie it in a bit nicer. But the fact you have this blue ball on the side doesn't really help. It almost looks like a banana. It looks like a banana. It is a banana. This is a banana. I've confirmed it. But other than that, I don't know. I think it's pretty cool. It's like really good work. I would not mind seeing this one in game at all. Just give us the minigun. I would say so. Yeah. Like I feel like here the sticker is really unnecessary. Like it's just this random embellishment that's not needed because like it breaks the sleek continuous line all the way along the body of the rocket launcher. And then it ends nicely here with the rounded bits that are kind of, you know, these concentric circles here. That looks really nice. This isn't needed. The sticker looks fine on here because, you know, you need to have something on the guard, and that looks quite nice. You could have put that sticker on there, but having, you know, the little rocket thing on there is also quite nice. Not too bad on the scatter gun, but I just don't like the blue. I feel like the blue throws it off. I don't know. I think it's great. I'll take it. I like it. It's quite good. Very nice work. It is a shame that Valve will never add a warpaint that uses Dragon Slayer as a base. Where do you find this shit? How far back do you have to go? You're just thumbing through pages. Just, good God. Well, hey, here's local hero for you. Honorable effort. The wood is weird. I don't like the wood. You got two. I don't like the wood. The wood texture needs some work. Everything else is fine though. Colors are great. Seems like you got a good base for it. It needs a little something. You need a little something here. Like, you can have simple war paints, but I feel like you've given yourself the opportunity by using 4 different textures to give yourself a little bit of pop. A little bit of pop. Maybe you could make this copper, I'm assuming it's copper. What you could do is make this a nice, shiny copper embellishment on this, you know? Brighten it a little bit, a little more orange, give it like a, you know, a shiny metal look on it. That might be a nice little extra embellishment to put on this, you know? A little bit of flair, a little bit of flash. But the wood is throwing me off a little bit. Like, it looks fine on the knife, but just, I don't know what you did. Maybe not. Maybe it's okay. Yeah, maybe it's okay. But I think I think this texture and this texture are too similar. You can do something flashy. A little bit of flash with that texture. Like some nice shiny copper would be nice to see. God of War. Is this meant to be Jesus? It is meant to be Jesus. Like Jesus hair with the crown of thorns, except it's barbed wire. I mean, it's clever, but off matter of principle, we shouldn't have religious iconography inside of TF2, no matter what it is. I don't think it's appropriate. It's a nifty idea, it's cool, but I don't think it should be inside of the game, no matter what it is. Like, we have, you know, like, we have very, very rare exceptions. Like, we have, like, was it the Viker's vestment or whatever? Or that cosmetic for spy, that's the, what is that, like, Egyptian symbol? But it's pretty innocuous. Having something that is, like, say, directly tied to Christianity or some other kind of very prevalent religion, like, yeah, like the Holy Exorcist, thank you. Like, that's like a, that's also Halloween restricted too, I believe. Let me just fact check myself here. Let me pull up a different tab here. Let me fact check my, or actually it was TF2, oh, fuck off. 2 Exorciser. It's for Soldier, Paramedic, and Spy. Yeah. So, it's a cross, right? It's a cross. Is this Halloween restricted? Yeah, it's a Halloween restricted cosmetic, so. Is it? I want to confirm that for myself. No, it's not. So it's not. Yeah. Again, we have rare exceptions, but personally, I think just to avoid stuff like this in the game is a smart move, in my opinion. That's just me. So, I don't think this is something that should be put in the game. It's clever, but I don't think it should be in TF2. Mutiny Marauder. This is familiar. Why is this familiar? God, my nose is so fucking itchy today. Help me, God. It will not stop itching. Ugh. Ugh. Oh my God, I hate allergies so much. I'm doing this constantly. I'm sorry. Ugh. Is this a reference to something? It might be. I don't know. Call of Duty CS:GO. I don't know. It might be a reference to something, but it's not terrible. It's okay. It's all right. I like the hat. Load, thank you. Putting camo over the entirety of his body. I really don't like it when creators do this. I think adding more visual noise to otherwise very simple textures, especially on a player model, is really not a good thing. Yes, it's subtle. Yes, the two colors blend in enough and it's subtle enough. It's just a personal peeve of mine. It really doesn't encroach on readability too much, but I don't like it because it does add too much noise. I don't think it's a good idea. Would it really hurt anything? Would this specific example really hurt anything? Probably not. It wouldn't. But it's a creative liberty that I think you need to be a little bit careful with. They handled it okay. But it's all right. This entire set seems pretty okay. Hat's good. Pants and cosmetic are good. I mean, it's just, I like the vest. The under vest is quite nice. So, yeah, it's decent. I'll say yes. An error submitting my request. Can I vote this? Apparently, I just can't vote for this because Steam is shitting the bed. Oh, well. Seen this a bunch of times before. It's a really, clever custom UV map skin. Unfortunately, Valve does not accept these types of skins anymore, so we'll never see it in game. Kind of a crime. Bit of a crime. So, I mean, it's a clever idea, but we'll never see skins like this again. Distiller's Duds. Oh my God, please, nose, stop itching. Hold on, give me a second. Oh, fuck, this sucks. Feels like I have ants in my nose. Ugh. Gay sticky? It's like, oh yeah, the instant you see a rainbow, therefore it has to be related to pride or something. Ugh, what has modern internet done? Let's see. It's a decent enough hat. It's a decent enough cosmetic set, I guess. I don't know. It's just okay. I don't know. It's like a fedora type style hat for the demo, which is all right. Undershirt seems fine. The untied bow tie seems fine. Nice modeling on the sleeve work there. This is decent. It's all right. It's all right. I would not be offended if oh my God, Steam is just not happy today. I'm okay with this one. This set's decent. Pretty good. And then we have what appears to be a very old beret and glasses, for which there are other better versions that we've seen before, so I'll just pass on that one. Soot Stained. Soot Stained. Wow, talk about Talk about a hard redirect on his work after what he saw Valve accept in summer. Because Pie Savvy used to make shit like that. He used to make shit. He made fucking shit like this. You know, he did a hard reroute when people realized, oh shit, maybe simpler skins are more widely desired, and having weapons that look like weapons in TF2 is a good thing. So, yeah, simple, clean, sleek skin. I'd like to see it. Keep making skins like this and not garbage like Potent Poison. We literally have this in game. How funny that we have this ancient cosmetic uploaded in 2011, but we have the fucking stupid dumb bell Christmas hat, right? This is in the game. No one uses this. I have not seen this cosmetic once in the game. Good God. Who made this? Anyways, garbage. Virescent Leaves. I feel like I've seen... I know for a fact I've seen this one before. I don't know. Am I allowed to say that we don't need more unusual effects? We have so many. Please, Valve, just recycle old ones. I know that's not what you want to do, but we already have so many. So fucking many. Oh yeah, I did see this one before. Yeah, I don't mind it. I like the colors. The colors are subdued. It's not super visually noisy. It's all right. I would not be offended if this was added. I would not be offended if that was put in the game. Mandated. Inspired by the existing firearms and explosives that Manco currently supplies. It's good. I like it. Personally, I love this palette. I love this palette. The green and the yellowish gold and the gray. I like that. John Deere. Maybe that's why. My inner Texan is seeping out a little bit because I got, you know, a little John Deere action. I like it. It's good. This is really nice. I like what you got going on with the custom wear. The custom wear is not the default. It's just a darker one, so it kind of keeps the color palette intact. This is really nice. I love this. Like, the sticky bomb is just so clean, man. Oh, it's good. Minigun's nice, too. This is really good. This is used custom. I don't know. It's park pigmented, so it could be added to the game now. Good shit. Yeah, one of the few good green war paint. Like, green war paints work if you know, keep it military green. For example, Bomber Soul is a good example of it. Not Bomb Carrier, Bomber Soul. Like, you know, keep it military green. That's how you do it. Don't do it like, Helldriver. Like, of the hyper-saturated skins in the game, personally, I enjoy this one because it reminds me of my childhood when I would go to monster truck rallies and I would watch Gravedigger, because that was, like, my favorite monster truck. And so I see this, I instantly think, like, oh, hey, Monster Jam. Monster Jam. Coming to an otherwise unpopulated arena near you. I'm channeling Alex Jones a little bit. I like this one. It's good shit. Ew. Ew. Ooh. I mean, decent inspiration, but it's just fucking hideous. It's really ugly. It's really, really ugly. It looked damn. He looks so weird without his default facial hair. He looks so weird being clean shaven. That's what's bizarre about this. Having a clean-shaved demo man is really funky. I don't like it. I really don't. That's what's throwing me off. Don't shave the mercs. Yeah, I mean, acceptable idea, but again, execution is not good. I don't like it. Atlas version 2. Holy moly. Bleh. Yeah, It's a little intense. It's a little bit intense. I mean, gold and black is a wonderful combination, but I fear your primary pattern is way too noisy. It is too noisy. You need to simplify it in some way. Like if you. So here's your problem. Here's your. Do you have a do you show your primary texture work? You don't. So like here's your problem. You managed to get this to work on the black box because the surface area on the black box is huge. And the shape of the black box allows for your orthogonal lines here to it to look really good. But what you've got going on is you have this set of orthogonal lines here. Like you have squares here, right? But then you have triangles here. And so this combination, while on its own, on a large surface area that's, you know, if this were orientation locked, this would look quite good. But the problem is it's going back to that thing where I mentioned earlier, is where if you have multiple sets of lines that are at different angles to each other, or they're at different thicknesses but are at the same angles to each other, it makes for an overall very busy composition. And it will work on a larger surface area, but as soon as you throw it onto a weapon model that can't show off this entire pattern at once, and it's not orientation locked, you end up getting a very visually noisy result. And that's what you see on every other weapon model on this. So I think you need to go back to the drawing board and figure out a pattern that plays nicely with smaller surface areas. I think you can get away with the brightness of the gold, but you need a little something else in the primary texture to just tone it down a little bit, just a little bit, because it's a little too intense. Like, I'm assuming, yeah, it looks like this has. Is there a gradient on it, or is it just like the lighting that's causing this to like if this is a gradient on here and not lighting, get rid of that. What you need to do is it looks like it is a gradient now that I'm looking at this, or I might be completely wrong, but what you need to do is this should all be the same darker yellow and not the gradient going from yellow to white. If this is just the lighting playing with it, if you have, you know, some kind of tint or whatever it's called, some kind of, you know, spectral mapping on it, whatever it's called, then that's my bad. But if this is the default, how it looks all the time, don't do that. I think if you get it toned down to this darker gold, that's exactly what you need. And then if you put the albedo tint on the entire thing and make it shiny, that's perfect. Yeah, that's what you need to do. Go back to the drawing board with the main pattern, and then go from there. Because the problem is every now and again you can get like this doesn't look terrible. Like this because right here 90 degrees, here it's tilted by 45. So it's nice and organized and you're getting the same size areas along the barrel here and here. So everything's all nice and symmetric. But then as soon as you get an orientation that's a bit askew, like here, it looks really bad. Like here, like this is why orientation lock would be very important even for this texture. Like if you were to change nothing else, you would desperately need to have this orientation locked. So, yeah. Yes. Yeah, and it needs orientation lock. Anywho, how we doing, guys? Doing all right? So I'm surprised this many people are still watching. Jesus. Anyway. Let's continue. Corpse Stain. I saw this one before. This was a fairly clever war paint, very reminiscent of the Gentleman's, where it's like a dead spy, and like his clothes get kind of rotted away. I liked this one. I'd like to see it in game. Silver Bullet. I think I saw this one as well, but I don't remember. No, I think I saw it in the war paint Discord. Yeah, I think it's good. Yeah, I wasn't sold on the sticker immediately. But now that I'm looking at it a little bit more, yeah, it's pretty good. It's just one, like, monkey, very minor nitpick. I feel like this little filigree element down here at the bottom is really hard to see. I don't know what you can do to thicken this up a little bit or to get it more at the forefront. You might not even need it. Alternatively, you could... Let me see. Hold on. I think that cleans it up a little bit. And it gets rid of the thinner extraneous elements that are very hard to see. And then if you kept this part, you could thicken it up or scale it up a little bit. And then it keeps this... It almost looks like a heart this way. Where it's kind of like this nice seamless curves throughout. That's just me. If you want to keep it, it's not a problem. It really isn't a problem. But my gripe is that it's just hard to see. So, where was I? Here we are. But otherwise, it's fucking great. I think it's great. Really good work, Monkey. As always, you do fantastic stuff. I'd love to see it in game. This is a Gorillaz reference, which doesn't really... It doesn't even look like a TF2 hat. Like, the goggles don't even look like they're styled for TF2. I mean, like, it's a cute, clever reference, but you need to bring it into the game a little bit more. It's not horrible, but the goggles are just... Something about the goggles. It's like from Star Wars, yeah. You know, Gorillaz, you know, Feel Good Inc. You haven't listened to the Gorillaz before? I don't know. It's... I don't like the... Yeah, it's just not... The modeling on it is bizarre. Garden Wall. It's... It's really not styled right for TF2. Like, it's really good artwork. It's, you know, it's very colorful, it's pretty, but it's just not a TF2 skin. It really isn't. Like, I feel like I'm looking at textures that have been taken out of another video game or even out of like a book. Someone's first warpaint on their server, like they're very talented. Like they can draw very well, and they have a nice idea of like what a good repeating texture could do. But one thing you don't see a lot of in TF2 is you don't see a lot of organics. Plant life inside of TF2 is incredibly sparse, aside from some exceptions, and most of what we get are trees. Right, you get some trees on some maps, like the Jungle Inferno maps, right? And you get a lot of them in the background, but they're like very tall, very big. You don't get a lot of smaller fauna, so it doesn't really feel like an element that you would expect to see in TF2. It's a good start. It's already beyond a good start. Don't get me wrong, right? So like, when you're throwing just the flower on there, flora, fauna. I'm a geologist, not a biologist. Flora, my bad. So, like, if you're gonna do an organic element like a flower, you want to transform it enough to... Let me think. You want to transform it enough to where it's an embellishment rather than the feature. If that makes sense. Like, you still want it to look like a gun. At least I think that's the problem here. Is like, you still want it to look like a gun and not a piece of artwork. artwork skins don't work very well in TF2. In fact, they're heavily underused because they tend to not be very popular. Someone who did a skin like this really well is Aiden. Let me pull up my chat with him. I need to fucking... I need to like scroll up to one of your workshop links so I can get to your workshop easily. There we go. I'm pulling up your CS workshop. Let me go to your TF2 shit. So what Aiden did, where's the one I'm looking for? So like, I'm going to use his Western Rose, right? Western Rose is easily just one of his best war paints that he's made. And what he did with the flowers is that he made them an engraving on the metal, right? There's an engraving on the metal. Pamp also did Well Aged, where the flowers, they're part of a design incorporated into something, where and it's not just the flower itself, right? It's tied into looking like a gun. And this is a good example of that. You don't want just the flower on the gun. And that's why it looks out of place. If you can find a way to tie it into like being an embellishment on a weapon, that's the direction I think you need to go. And if you can do that with these textures, do it. I don't know how helpful that is, and I hope my points got across, but I think that's what you need to do. You can even use the same artwork, but I would not use stone. I would perhaps... What could you do instead of stone and grass? Also, no black borders. Yeah, having black outlines or black borders does look strange. And you have outlines and borders here, which is, it does, that's also something else. That's what I meant by like style. Like you don't get a lot of this in TF2, so you need to find a way where you can just work with solid areas of color and not using outlines like that to add details and like separate petals from themselves, right? So... This one handles it a little bit better. Because it's like they're like individual segments. So, I hope that helps, but I don't know. Stern Veteran. I immediately go to the paint region to ensure it's not shit. Yeah, it's not bad. You retain enough of the engineer's default colors. I mean, the hat and the jacket look totally fine. This is good. I dig it. Yeah, he could do black wood. Yeah, black wood would be good instead of stone. Like a simple darker wood, that could be nice. Maybe try that. That would be good. I'm okay with this. This looks fine. Can I see the whole set? I see. It's a Jaws reference. See, here we go. If you're gonna make a reference to something, you really need to tie it into TF2, and you kind of want to make it thematically appropriate, right? Like where it still looks like normal clothing, or it looks like something that would otherwise exist in TF2's universe and not look out of place, right? Like this type of jacket and this type of hat and like facial hair and what have you, like this getup would not look out of place within the stylization and themes of TF2, right? And so, but then they brought it in and incorporated it to look like the engineer, which is fantastic, which is something else they did with something like, you know, the Minnesota Slick TF2, right? This is something else they did, right? Like, this is a reference to the movie Fargo, where they bring something that doesn't look out of place in TF2 with slicked back hair doing a cigarette, right? Referencing an otherwise very dark comedy. It fits in the game quite well. This is how you handle references in TF2, right? And the team captain is another example. It's not shoehorned or ham-fisted in. It looks like it's a military style hat in a game that has heavy military themes. It works, right? Whereas something that's shoehorned and ugly that would otherwise not be expected inside of TF2, like a fucking Batman hat or a Mario hat or a Stormtrooper set for Medic, those types of references do not work because they stick out like a sore thumb. It's not what you would expect to see. So this is what you need to do for references, and this is very clever, and it came out quite good as a result. The hat looks good, the shirt and the jacket looks really nice. This is fantastic. And it also works really well because you don't need to know what the reference is in order for it to be a good cosmetic, right? Whereas like the JoJo set or the Stormtrooper set or the Mario hat, if you don't know what it is, it kind of just looks like this out of place thing. Whereas the Minnesota Slick or cosmetics like these, you don't need to understand the reference to go, oh yeah, this is still the engineer. It still looks like something the engineer would wear, right? Again, that's how you handle references. So. Don't want to, but you can show that rose work I was working on if you think it could help with a similar idea without it being an engraving. Yeah, if you don't mind me showing that little work in progress you had, Aiden, I think that would also be really helpful to the guy. So Aiden was playing around with that same flower design, but with different colors here. So he went for inorganic colors on an otherwise organic looking design. And this ends up looking a lot better because it still looks like a weapon model, but with very intricate detailing on it. And this ends up looking a lot better than using both the organic colors and the organic elements and then throwing that on a weapon model. This is a much better way to handle a floral design in TF2 rather than just taking flowers and putting them, you know, onto a gun. So maybe something to this effect would be a good kind of idea to toy around with. So again, these are from Aiden. Aiden does very fantastic work with skins. I hope more of his stuff gets in game. Unused voice lines restored. I mean, sure. I mean, beyond that, yeah, sure. More unused. We've seen this already. Brand loyalty. A very, very odd. Why is it so chunky? Why is it so thick? It's like he's got like a slice of bread jutting out from his fucking head. It's also like not quite the right type of trucker style hat. It doesn't look right. It looks odd. Like, I mean, it's clever, but I feel like you could have done something that's modeled like the Ellis cap, right? Do I even have the Ellis cap? I do. Like, you could have done something that's modeled more similarly, closely to the Ellis cap, right? But you could have made it like, you know, Scrumpy themed. But here, like, and look, it's like the brim is thin. It's, you know, like the modeling on this is so much better. But here, it's just so chunky. It's really bulbous and chunky. It doesn't look like TF2. Yeah, it's a clever idea, but the execution is piss poor. And like this is cute. I like the cans. I like the cans on his chest. I think that's okay. Whatever this is supposed to be is weird looking. Like, what is it, like a chest plate or a shirt? What is that? Like, I think the cans are cute. Scrump man, here we go. Yeah, like the cans are cute. Like, I don't think having his chest look like a keg is, you know, exactly appealing. But I think the cans are fine, and I think if you know, made the hat a bit more in line with a 70s type ball cap or trucker hat, then I think that's fine too. It's Duffman? What is, oh, it's like a Simpsons reference. Oh, yeah, it is. Of course it is. Yeah, it's a Duffman reference. Haha, funny Simpsons joke. I mean, you could have gotten away with it if you didn't try to do like a carbon copy on the gag and try to fit it into TF2 more and then do like a really cringy paint over of the cosmetic to like make it look nicer than it actually is. So it's a bit of a dud. Bit of a dud. I would take a Sneed hat over that any day. Gravedigger. Speaking of Gravedigger, the bones. Why? What's with these bones? Okay, no. All right, so you don't take a 3D rendered object like the skeleton bones in TF2 and then slap them on a texture and then expect that to look okay. It looks really bad. You have like a painted style, like the painted gravel. This is a TF2 texture, by the way. So they have like a painted gravel texture with 3D rendered bones slapped on top of it. That looks fucking horrible. And not only that, that's the custom wear and it's scaled down. So it wears away to like create even more visual noise. It looks really bad. I mean, a better way to have handled it is you could have just done like a solid bone texture and then have that and have like the bone texture be like glowing green, you know, and then have it wear down to that and have that like be the lighter scratches on it. That would have been a better thing to do. I mean, the primary texture is okay. The wood is fine. The wood's fine. Primary texture is fine. But it's just this custom wear looks fucking awful. And like I feel and doing like the engraved RIP where you have like the embossed edges, why didn't you just have it painted on there or have it like more etched in there and more, you know, rough and scraggly than like a really smooth, clean, obviously done by just hitting an option inside of either Illustrator or Photoshop. You could have gone the extra mile and made it look like it was really carved into stone or painted on there. And also, the contrast between your background and the letters is, like, the colors are the same. They don't contrast sharply enough with each other. You need the letters to pop out more, which, like, black paint would have been way better to do for this. Or you could have done the same thing, but you could have filled in the space with black also. So, I mean, clever concept, but it really is a dud, primarily because the custom wear is so poorly executed. If you wear down to a very complex texture, it's gonna look really fucking terrible. So, yeah, look at the W, like the direction, like you can change the direction of your embossing. Yeah, it's just it needs a lot more. You need some changes. Execution is pretty poor. Yeah, look at that. Look how noisy. Then look at the dirt too. You wear down, and the dirt is scaled down. It's scaled down, and it makes it so noisy. Look at that. Look how fuzzy it gets. No, what you should, because like what I'm seeing some potential here, right? Because you could take this primary texture, and then if your underlying texture was like a solid bone that was glow in the dark, and then you had like the lighter scratches kind of appearing around it, like you see with something like Ghoul Blaster, for example. Ghoul Blaster, like you have like this nice solid texture, and then it starts to reveal like the kind of glowing green underneath. You could do that, but with this same desaturated kind of glowing green here. I think that would look a whole hell of a lot better than this super noisy mess that you've made for a custom wear. So I think if you made those changes, it would come across a whole hell of a lot better. Shaq Fu, I gotta see your profile. I like this guy already. This guy's great. Company property. Well, I mean, it's his first ever workshop submission, so you got to give him a little bit of leeway here. But yeah, definitely leaves something to be desired. So some pointers for the guy if he's paying attention. If you're doing showcases, you want screenshots of the game in the background to help. Overall, your texture work is just solid colors. You really need to, you know what? Tell you what. What you should do is if you're ever playing around with making a war paint, start with colors first. Go into the texture files, you know, pick out any of these, right? Pick out some colors, you know, just, you know, you can pick up, say, you know, get some dark red, you get a charcoal, maybe throw a brass or a brown in there, you know, play around with all these colors and just mix and match a little bit until you get like a nice palette. And then if you want to make some changes, then pull those into Photoshop and then start playing around with the colors in there until you get exactly what you want. And then once you have the palette set up, then you can start working on incorporating some textures in there. And the main thing that this is lacking, aside from it being very, very overly saturated, is you're missing the key element that's present in pretty much every TF2 texture, and it's this painterly style. Ideally, you want to get some brushes in Photoshop that'll let you recreate at least this at the bare minimum. And then you can go crazy with all the colors you want, right? And then you can mix and match to your heart's content. But the first step is try to recreate this. If I was making a war paint, the first thing you should do, get some brushes, try to remake what TF2 considers as a solid color. This is a solid color in TF2. Note that it's not perfectly solid. It's broken up by the painterly, paint lines and what have you, and like the subtle gradients in here. Make this first in grayscale or whatever the color you want. Once you nail that, then move on to colors and then add extra details. So that's what you should do. So start there. As for your colors, a little too saturated. The dark's too saturated, the light's a little too saturated. You want to kind of tone these down a little bit. The gray is fine, perhaps a little bit too bright. And then when you bring in, monkey imperfections. Yeah, when you bring in the human imperfections that look like it was painted by somebody, then that will really help and break up your solid colors. So start there. No, No, do not put denim in TF2. My God. This fuzzy, near photographic level of detail just does not look appropriate inside of TF2. This just should never be added in any capacity. Plain and simple. Don't do this. It's just bad. Don't do it. Ugly. Very ugly. Carton cut. Cardboard? Except a little more brown. I can appreciate that. Sticker. Rare sticker. That's cute. No, it's not bad. It's just okay. Betty? Oh, it was like a fucking like jump scare game reference or something. I don't know. I think this is fine. It's good. What has this guy made? And some other stuff. Classic cast. I think I saw this one before, didn't I? Maybe. I don't know. Oh no, I didn't see this one. It was uploaded too long ago. But yeah, that one's pretty decent. I dig it. Puffy jacket for Scout. We just no. Yeah, you don't want paint regions this fucking big. Don't do that. Plain and simple. Tremor. Tremor? Is it like a Tremors reference or Quake? Is it Quake? I suppose so. I guess it's the original, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. It looks good. Looks good. Colors are great. Wears the wear looks fucking great. This is actually really nice. Nice. It's a nice, simple war paint. Monkey thinks it needs something. What do you think it needs? What do you think it needs? Maybe you could have this little grill here. Look like it's got some heat coming from it. Like give it like a subtle orange glow coming from this. That might be a nice little element to throw on there. Like yeah, like if you had like a little orange glow coming off the side here. Ooh. Yeah. That'd be nice. That would break up a good chunk of the weapon models. Because like some of these have like a good mix between the dark and the light, whereas others like this, like the flamethrower here is like a big chunk of the dark color. If you got like a nice heat color coming through here, that'll look good. Too much. Like, does it even need to be said? Does it even need to be said that this is just a little bit too much? Oh fuck! Oh my god! Yeah, way too much detail that should ever be allowed on anything on a character model. Just don't do this. Not a good idea. Hold on, my person I'm dating is texting me. Am I missing something important? No, I'm not here to sell my house. Okay, we're good. No. Hard no. For obvious reasons. Saw that. Saw that. Seen this before. Yeah, I saw this one before. I don't like what they did with the shirt. The shirt looks strange. I think that gripe still... That gripe still kind of bugs me a little bit. But overall, I mean, like in terms of like all the other suit cosmetics I've seen for Pyro... It's definitely the best out there. So, it's good. I mean, it retains, like, the sooty gradient across Pyro. I've seen others that don't do that, so it's fine. Stag Slayer. You need a little something here. Your textures are a bit flat. Oh, actually, you know what? The custom wear helps quite a bit. You get a little bit like that kind of like that oxidized metal, like that you still need something to kind of give it some pop. I feel like it's way too flat. All your colors are a little too similar. I feel like you can go even further and brighten up your custom wear a little bit. You could brighten up your custom wear a little bit. You need to do something with your main textures here. What could you do? I feel like you can brighten up this color. This color here, this solid greenish gray. What could you do? You could just brighten it up. You could lean it a little bit more into green territory. Saturate it, not like a mint color, right? But like evergreen. You know, get like an evergreen color in there. Because here it's almost everything's too gray-green. You want to get like a slightly more saturated, darker green in there. Yeah, like, yeah, we do need a good forest camo war paint. And this one's getting there. It's getting there for forest camo, but I feel like just your greens in general. Just go to your main camo texture and saturate your greens a little bit. Get your green up there a little bit more. And then I think it'd be good. It's like, I see it, it's wanting to be. But I think that's where you need the embellishment. Get your greens brightened up a little bit. And I think it'd be nice. I think it'd be good. Let me hop over to more links here. Wow, am I actually out of links? Wow, we managed to make it to the bottom. Granted, I did skip quite a few because here, guys, send some more if I didn't look at your shit. Send a few more in the chat. Send a few more links if you have them. I can wait, and I will. I'll review a few more before I call it a day. Have I really been going for over 3 hours? Wow. It's my birthday? Well, happy birthday, Dr. Feel Goose. Not Dr. Feel Good, Dr. Feel Goose. There we go. We got a few more. Get some more in there. Give me some more links, guys. Give me some more. There's another one. Two more. First two more that pop up, and then that's it. One more. Give me one more. One more link. Who will it be? Paddle Pop or Fuwox? Who is the winner? Whoever's timer runs out first is gonna be the winner, because I forgot I had slow mode on here. Oh, someone else is gonna beat you to the punch. Who's it gonna be? Someone's gonna beat you to the punch. Stop. There we go. Cold Lemonade. He beat you. All right, that's it. We're closing it. We're closing it. Ugh. Ugh. It's like a tumor on his head. Ugh, it's ugly. It's so fucking ugly. What the fuck? God, it looks horrible. You could have modeled like something that looks like a better pair of ski goggles, and not like he's got like a giant zit over his eyes. Ugh. Pop that blister. Yeah. Oh Jesus. No, looks really ugly. Silent Night. Holy Night. All is calm. All is bright. I feel like your team color here is too much. Like your blue is toned down. That's good, but your red is too saturated. I think you need to tone down your red a little bit, and I feel like it's too flat. I think you need something. I think you need something on your team color here. Like a little like if you used. One sec. If you used something. Where are you? If you used something similar to this, not this color, but in terms of like the level of detail in your team color, I think that would look a lot better. Like if you take this color red, tone it down a little bit, get some details in here like this, and then put that back on there, that's what you need. Because your team color is a little too flat. Everything else is fine. Everything else is totally fine. Like it's like this really cool urban camo. I think that looks great. The colors are good. Otherwise, solid. But yeah, play with your team color here a bit. It's a little too flat. Hazardous environment. I immediately think of like cows. First thing I think of is cows. So, very reminiscent of the sudden flurry. Oh, it's like a Half-Life reference. It's cute. Yeah, very reminiscent of sudden flurry. I have to look at sudden flurry now. Let me see. Let me see. I need to go to camo. It was the geometric. Yeah, so your texture definitely lacks a lot of the smaller kind of painterly details in here. I would try to incorporate this level of detail into this to help break it up a little bit, because the colors on themselves, like on their own, is fine, but it's kind of doing that thing that I think looks really ugly on TF2 textures, where you have like these big chunks of one color harshly juxtaposed against each other. That looks pretty bad. So if you incorporate a lot of these smaller elements in here, and what you need is you need a little more overlap. Like here you have like the base color, and then all of the other individual geometric elements are all overlapping each other, so they're all like tied together, right? Whereas they're not like pieced together like a puzzle, they're all overlapping, and that helps kind of get a nice bit of... I'm not an artist, I know a lot of the lingo I use is stupid, but it looks more continuous, right? It looks like a nice continuous pattern instead of these harsh boundaries. That's what you really need in this texture. And I think if you do that, that's probably fine. Because that'll deal with the flatness of your individual sections of color. It'll kind of bring, like you have some overlapping, like this little overlapping bit here. You get a little bit of it, but like right here, these bits don't overlap each other very well. So you get more of that. Also, is this not seamless? No, it is. It's seamless. It just looked like it wasn't for a second there. Yeah, if you do that, I think that will help a lot. Yeah, because your green is fine, and I think this looks fine too. Yeah. But beyond that, it looks good. The colors are good. Just get a little more detail and tweak your camo a bit. How's the wear look? The wear is just the default wear, and I think that's fine. Fucking hideous. No. Like, do I even need to explain it? Do I even need to explain it? No. Oh, it's horrible. Jesus. Disgusting. And it's paintable because fucking why not? Only acceptable as, like, say, a Halloween restricted cosmetic, but because we know how Valve works, we might just get, like, Cum Spy. You want to be Cum Spy? There he is. Had to say it. Or you can get, like, Chocolate Syrup Spy. Like, chocolate syrup, honey. It's so fucking awful. This is a horrible cosmetic. Ugh. I mean, I get the idea. However, yeah, not very good. Not the greatest. Midnight Tailored. Clean. Good. Sticker's decent. The level of detail in the textures is fine. Yeah, another Kira decent war paint, I'll say. I mean, it's just stupid, dumb meme garbage that just shouldn't be in the game. It's just ugly. Like, this is just ugly. Garbage, wacky crap that just doesn't belong in TF2. Fucking horrible. I'm sure Reddit loves this. Reddit saw this when it was first uploaded. They just lost their shit. They couldn't help themselves. Their fucking testicles collapsed into a singularity as all their fucking cum erupted from their bodies when they saw this, I'm sure. Hideous. Reddit Nation, rise up. Yeah, this is just garbage. Shouldn't be in the game. Dusted Debris. It looks really cool, But yeah, it's someone said the magic word. It's blurry. The way you did like the painterly style on here is it's pretty blurry. Colors are fine. Colors are great. Texture work is great. It's just the fuzziness is what's throwing me off here. And when you're doing the painterly style in TF2, generally it's unidirectional, right? Like you don't get a lot of randomness in the direction of the imperfections. You get some, but they're few and far between, right? Like this is just like a scratch texture, right? But then if you go to something like this, right? Everything is oriented at primarily 90-degree angles. Like you have some slight offset, but it's not super harsh and all. Like here you have like a really big curve. It's kind of wavy. You should probably tighten up your lines a little bit. And also perhaps you could make it a bit harsher. Like you don't need to have that level of smudge in your texture work. Like this is very smudgy. This is also probably super smudgy. You can get away with a few more, a little harshness. Then as a result, I fear that if you do that, then the colors you used aren't going to blend together as well as they do now. So you might need to lighten up the darker elements in the texture so it doesn't contrast as sharply with the silver. Yeah, smudge is a result of a specific brush. Yeah, you might, yeah. So if that's the case, then you need to change whatever brush you're using to make it not so smudgy. So try that, and then even then, you might not even need to change the elements of randomness and the offset lines in your texture work. And then perhaps it would still be fine. So yeah, maybe try doing the texture again with a different brush, and it'd be good. So. Wow! Oh my god! Woo! That's in your face. Holy god. Whoa. No. This is way too saturated. You need to tone this down. So, you can get away with a little bit. You can get away with a little bit of brightness in your skins, but you can't have it take up this much visual real estate. Holy god. So a good example of something that has a nice bright element. What is one that has? What's a good example of this? I'm trying to think of one. What is a skin that has, or a war paint? It's got like a nice bright element, but it's contained to smaller areas. So it's just not this big, like car headlight just boom in your face, right? What is one that handles this well? This isn't an example, but this is an idea of the areas that I'm thinking of, right? Like, go to something like Night Owl Mark II, where the brighter color in this, so like envision this being that same hyper-saturated yellow we see in this war paint, right? If it's contained to a smaller area like this, you can get away with higher saturation levels, right? That's where it would work. So you need to rework this to where you contain the amount of fucking bright color. Because holy god. Ugh. Do we have like in-game screenshots? Yeah, it's way too punchy. Way too punchy. Yeah, you gotta tone this down. What is this texture? I guess it's meant to be like a record player. Or it's themed after a record player. The silver is a little more tolerable, I think. Like, that's not as bright as the fiery gold. You get away with it with the silver, but the gold, you need to tone it down. If nothing else, desaturate it a little bit. Yeah, it really does stick out like a sore thumb. Also, the brown looks odd. Like, the blue and silver look good, but the brown and the orange is not a good mix. So maybe add some, like, a reddish tinge to this, so it ties together a bit better. Instead of just going for brown. I don't think brown is the right choice here. Like, I see what they're going for, but... What is the name of that painting? Okay. Oh, it's a photo. No, it's a painting. Like, here's the original. What's the difference here? You know what's funny is also this painting is, oddly enough, very reminiscent of what you'd expect to see in TF2 style, right? This has kind of like that older Americana style to it, right? Why didn't you just use this color palette? Why did you like hyper saturate it to be this big bright neon headlight? Use these colors. Give us a nice toned down gold. Get us some nice wood, right? Like if you use this color instead of that orangish yellow, that'd be way better. And then you can go with a silver instead of a gold, right? I don't know why you took this angle. It's way too intense. Go for this. This is what you got to do. So, that's what I think. Unusual effect, Starlight Halo. I don't like that it's off-center. That's bothering me. I don't mind the fact that it's askew. I don't like that it's off-center from the head. Because it looks like there's less space. Like, there's less space between the ring and the head on the left than on the right. It could just be the angle, because when you askew something like this, it makes it look like it's not off. It makes it look like it's off-center. So, if it's not off-center, my bad. It's okay. I'm not really offended by it. We've been trying to get more Halo effects into the game that look like the Cheater's Lament, but I don't think Valve's ever going to add that. Could be wrong. But I feel like the yellow band is a little too intense. I think you could like thin it out a little bit. Don't make it so like don't make it so solid. You know, fade it out a little bit more from the edges, right? Make it look a little more gaseous instead of like a solid ring around the head. So, yeah. Smokey. V2. So we got a guy trying to play off Coffin Nail here because it looks like he took some in-game textures. Oops. I can probably close my game now. It looks like he took some in-game textures and then did a recolor on them. I think I know exactly which ones they are. It was the SIG filter paper. Nope, not that one. It was... Oh, which one were you? What were you called? Heavy... Here's the leaf. So here's the leaf texture he used, right? So there's the game texture for that. So there's that one. And then where was... Smoke textures... There's the ash... No, that's not it. Which one was it? This it? I think this might be it. Yeah, it looks like he took these two TF2 textures and then did a recolor on them, which I suppose is fine. I mean, that's what Sky Stallion does. And then he just threw what appears to be the existing Coffin Nail wear underneath it. It seems like it's functioning well enough, but because of the nature of Warpaint scaling, it ends up looking really bad. Like, you can't use... I'm assuming these are the same wares. I don't know, because I don't know if these textures are all original. I can't tell. They're very similar to the Valve textures. He may have recreated these from scratch, but I can't tell, honestly. But yeah, like, it's wearing down... The way Coffin Nail gets away with this is that... Oh, fuck, I have to open my game again, son of a bitch. The way Coffin Nail gets away with this... Uses Banana Peel as a base, which really doesn't help it because Coffin Nail used special group textures to make itself look nicer. Yeah, that's a point that I'm about to make, yes. So that's something that Coffin Nail does, is you have specific placement of textures to make it look exactly how it needs to. And then when you look at how the wear is handled on Coffin Nail, right? The wear primarily extends from the edges. Ignore the booty. That's my background. Just deal with it. All right, so when you look at the higher amounts of wear, it mostly extends out from the edges, right? Let me get a better seed. Better seed? Give me a decent one here. Yeah, so it mostly extends out from the edges where wear starts to kick off. I don't know what they're doing here, where it's like fucking spam call. They're decreasing the opacity to reveal more of the texture itself, and it just makes it look very, very noisy. The way Coffin Nail achieves this wear is by just limiting it to the edges and not the entire model, so as a result, it just looks very noisy. Like, they achieved it here, kind of, but it looks weird on the ambient, like here also as well. But it seems hit and miss on whatever base they used. I also feel like this could be tied to be more like the original filter paper. Because it looks like he did just copy existing gentleman's textures, right? So if he just went with this color, where's the Sig filter? Like if he just went with that color, like darkened it to be a little bit more brown, it's a little bit too bright. If it was more this color, right? It's very subtle, but there is a difference. Some of you with your screens may not be able to see it, but it makes a huge difference. Like this is more of a brown, this is more of a lighter tan to an orange. These should be the same color, and I think that would look a lot better. Also, the fact that this is silver and not white like a cigarette, why is it silver? The silver is also kind of throwing it off in a weird way. So, yeah, like, see that? This looks strange. I don't like how this is happening. It looks bizarre. I honestly have yet to see a Warpaint that has managed to pull off the same wear that Coffin Nail uses. And again, like Dude the Ninja said, the reason why Coffin Nail gets away with it is because it has specifically mapped textures that are placed specifically so it looks good. This lacks that because it's a Warpaint. So I don't think, like, overall, looks fine. Like, I would not be offended if this was added to the game. I just immediately dived into nitpicking it because it tried to be Coffin Nail and fell short in several aspects. But yeah, needs some tweaks. Doom Guy set. TF2 outlet. What is this? Apparently I don't have permission to join. Does it mean the link is expired? It's a fairly old cosmetic submission, so it's probably gone. Doom Guy set. Appropriate for Halloween, but not during any other part of the year. Don't make this a cosmetic that's available year-round. Again with the fucking pencil gun. Outlet died years ago. Alright, well there you go. Campfire Rebellion. Again, another, this goes back to that other Warpaint where it's like, you know, it has like a really nice, you know, green and black and yellow color palette. I like Warpaints that use this palette. Looks really nice. This is good. It's simple, sleek, clean. You know, only you can prevent forest fires. Looks like a park ranger. This is the park ranger skin. I like it. It's good. I'll take it. Preliminary perpetrator. Like, sure, it's a cute idea to, you know, give Spy his, you know, beta coloring. I don't think it's a good idea to recolor an entire character model into something that isn't the default. You can still tell what team is which, but it's going to stick out like a sore thumb, because most Spies have the same colors, right? And then all of a sudden, if you see a Spy that's not his usual colors all over his body, it's going to look weird and out of place. Like, there's a reason why Valve made Spy the colors he is, right? So I don't think it's appropriate to bring those colors back as some kind of cosmetic. I didn't see the mask? What do you mean by the mask? Oh. I mean, no. Why would this, why should this be allowed? No, it's fucking hideous. Don't do this. Yeah, let's repaint the entire fucking head. It doesn't hurt readability. It doesn't hurt gameplay, but it doesn't, you know, save from, like I said on Twitter some months ago, that a fucking Jolly Rancher Spy isn't gonna look any less out of fucking place. Hideous. Don't do that. This really leaves, so this is a very old cosmetic too, so, and I know this guy has slightly better modeling work now. So, fairly old cosmetic, amateurish work, fully paintable head, just no. Concept is also fairly mediocre. And the execution's not great either, so just eh. Just a big resounding eh. Okay. We've been going for almost 3.5 hours, so I think that's a good place to stop. I'm getting a little tired. So, yeah, for those of you guys that just joined that have no idea what's going on, I review workshop items once a month. If you'd like to send me something, then join the Discord in the link in the description below. And whenever I do these streams, you can send links inside of the text channel that's called Workshop Links. And then I can review them. Also, in general, if you just want notifications for when I go live, spam call again. Shall we answer? Hello? Too slow. Fucking idiot. Probably a robot. Anyway. Also, if you want notifications for when I go live or whenever I upload a video, then also join that Discord because I give notifications for when those things happen. So yeah. Yeah. Thanks for hanging out, guys. It was fun. We got through a lot. Good to get back in the groove of doing these streams again. Expect to see these as the months go by once more, leading up to summer. And, yeah. Oh, yeah, I totally forgot. So, Monkey started a Warpaint Discord called the Painter's Workshop. If any of y'all are making war paints, want to know how to start making war paints, want feedback on your work, or just want to get into war paint creation in general, then I highly recommend that you join this Discord, and I will invite you guys. You need to edit the invite link, generate a new link, and copy that shit. So if you want to get into war paint making, then join this Discord. All are welcome. Come on in. And let's make some good shit. So, anyways, that's it. Thanks for hanging out, guys. A lot of fun. Thanks for the donations. I missed one. I'm sorry. Let me read what it was. $5 from someone earlier by the name of I Hate Yankees. Are there any resources available for people who want to make content for the game but don't want to go to the Emporium? We have some of those inside of our Warpaint Discord, so join that. Some were salvaged before the Emporium decided to kind of go scorched earth with their, hyper manual verification where, like, if they don't like you, because now in order to get into the Emporium, you have to have your Steam account associated. You have to have your Steam account tied to your profile. And your Steam account has to be older than a certain amount of time. So even if you're like, otherwise they just won't let you in. And they do this for manual verification because obviously you don't want people spamming or what have you, but they also go out of their way to block and ban people they don't like. So if you just happen to do something that they dislike, they will just get rid of you. Regardless if it's in violation of their rules or not. So, yeah, not exactly a public Discord anymore. Ours is. So come on in. Just don't break the rules. Anyways. Yeah, thanks for hanging. We got through a lot of stuff today. And I will see you guys whenever I go live. Also, by the way, I am working on a new video that's coming around. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like, what if a new guy wants to play around, right? Like, some new guy in TF2 is like, oh yeah, I want to make warpaints, I want to make hats. Sorry, you've not been around long enough. You're not welcome in. So... Anyways, y'all take care. I will see y'all later.